check this out.
You're on official Rob Brown lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Real, unfiltered sports talk manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown.
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, the big show is on your radio. This is the Rob Brown Show. This is ESPN Upstate. Hello. Upstate South Carolina. What's happening, y'all? Great to be with you. I am Rob Brown. The pleasure exclusively mine. Welcome in. Great to have you here on a not so beautiful Thursday afternoon on ESPN Upstate 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, all around the world on the radio.com app and streaming live on a computer or mobile phone near you at Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. Back in the network studio, pushing the button, switching the switches, making the show sound as good as it does today. My man DJ Drew in the house, wrapping up our week of broadcasting as I will be off tomorrow. I love you tomorrow, the first day of the March Madness tournament. Drew, what's up, fella? How we doing, man?
I am excited. We got basketball tonight. It is here.
That's right. Playing games tonight. Playing games tonight, thanks to my man Ron Gonzaga. Ron let me know that we had a little feedback on the stream. It should be cleared up now. Join us on that stream, Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. You can watch Drew and I do the show live. And on top of that, you can pitch into the conversation. We read your comments there. We have conversations off the air, and you actually get to help format the show. Sometimes I'll ask what topics you want to hear about next. So if you want to have a little more creative control over the show itself, joining the stream is a quick, easy way to do just that. So make sure you join us again live on Facebook at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. It's going to be a busy day today on the broadcast. 1.5 million things that we've got to get to, and we've only got 3 hours to get to it today. 3-day weekend coming up for you, boy. Tomorrow we'll have live NCAA tournament games for you right here on the radio. Your home for the March tournament is ESPN Upstate. Busy day, as I've mentioned, coming up in about, we'll call it 40-ish minutes. We are going to have some really cool stuff to tell you about from our friends at Verizon, different ways that you can utilize Verizon technology to stay up with the tournament this year and be even more in-depth. For those of you that like to drop a little cheddar on the game, we're going to have you set up there. Then at 1 o'clock, Rashad Beard of Panthers Nation podcast is going to join us here on the show. Rashad's going to join us, talk free agency. We're going to talk about the latest in the quest for Deshaun coming up here in just a few minutes as well. That's going to be at 1 o'clock. Then at 1:40, Andrew Lord, the head coach of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, is going to join us on the radio broadcast as well. We'll talk to him about a 3-game stand that the boys will be hosting at the Well coming up this weekend against the Florida Everblades starting tomorrow evening. Another game Saturday, a third on Sunday afternoon. And then at 2:15 this afternoon, Miss Savannah Lee from the Brunswick News is going to join us. We will take a look back at the TPC at Sawgrass last weekend, the Honda Classic taking place right now. So we'll get her thoughts on all of the action from last week down in the worst city in America, Jacksonville, Florida. All the action going on at the Honda Classic right now. That's coming up. So busy day on the phone lines, but we always have time for you. We always have time for you. That's my creepy, sexy radio voice. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us 71307, 71307. Start your text with ESPN so we can read them on the air. That text line is open as of now, 71307. Start your text with ESPN. And, of course, you can get at us on Twitter at The Rob Brown Show, at ESPN Upstate. Hit either one of those handles. Lonzo's out, but you can tweet him as well at Lonzo on Word. We were hoping to get Lonzo in here to do the Fight Club segment today, but even on vacation, my man, just a tad under the weather today. So we'll pick Fight Club back up next week. All that being said, Drew, it's going to be a crazy busy day. So let's say we launch right into it by doing that little thing that we do.
Let's do lunch.
This is a very nutritious lunch. All the food groups are represented. You guys are here.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Let's break down the 3 things you have to know before you go start talking sports with your friends, family, coworkers, or the dog, whoever you spend your lunch break with. This is the Scuttlebutt Around the Lunch Table this afternoon. We start in the National Football League. We have gotten some, not many, but some new details out of the lawsuits being brought against former Clemson quarterback turned Houston Texans frontman Deshaun Watson. Those 2 lawsuits allege inappropriate conduct during massages on 2 separate occasions by 2 separate plaintiffs. The first lawsuit was filed Tuesday night, appeared on the Harris County District Clerk's website on Wednesday morning. It alleges inappropriate conduct in a massage therapist home in Houston, March of 2020. The incident the second lawsuit is based on, filed Wednesday, occurred August 28th, 2020, allegedly. The lawsuits were both filed by Houston lawyer Tony Busby. They both allege that Watson committed, quote, civil assault, end quote, when touching a massage therapist with his reproductive organ, and that he, quote, intentionally or knowingly caused physical contact with the plaintiff when Watson knew or should have reasonably known that plaintiff would regard such contact as offensive. The second lawsuit says that, quote, Watson's behavior is part of a disturbing pattern of preying on vulnerable women. Busby said on Instagram there are 6 total cases against Watson, although only 2 have been filed officially so far. We know that Deshaun responded on Twitter after Busby announced the filing of the first lawsuit Tuesday night, saying he rejected a, quote, baseless 6-figure settlement demand, end quote, and that this is, quote, about clearing my name, and I look forward to doing that, end quote. At the time of the statement, Watson said he had not yet seen the first lawsuit, but that, quote, I have never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect, end quote. The first lawsuit alleges that Watson booked a massage on March 30th, 2020 with a therapist who regularly works in her home. After leaving the room, the massage therapist alleges she returned to find Watson laying on the massage table with just a small towel covering his groin area. The lawsuit says the plaintiff, quote, began to feel extremely uncomfortable, end quote, and that, quote, it became apparent that Watson wanted a massage for only one reason, sex, end quote. It accuses Watson of exposing himself and subsequently touching the woman. In that lawsuit, the massage therapist alleges that after she asked Watson to leave, the quarterback made a statement that she considered to be a threat. The lawsuit also says Watson later texted her to apologize. The second lawsuit alleges Watson booked a massage with a masseuse over Instagram and flew her from Houston to Houston from Atlanta. When she arrived at the hotel where the massage was scheduled to take place, the suit said Watson was nude on a massage table and refused to cover himself with a towel despite several requests. It also said he inappropriately touched the woman. Watson's Houston-based attorney Rustin Hardin told ESPN he had first learned of the lawsuits involving the quarterback on Tuesday evening. Hardin said he spoke with Watson on Wednesday and agreed to represent him. All of this according to ESPN. Hardin said, quote, I'm real comfortable with the kind of person that Deshaun Watson is, and I don't like to publicly comment until I get all the facts. He went on to add that Watson, quote, has a great reputation here in the Houston area, and the allegations are really inconsistent with the kind of person that he is. The Texans and the NFL both said yesterday they are aware of the matter. The Texans released a statement that said, quote, we became aware of a civil lawsuit involving Deshaun Watson through a social media post last night. This is the first time we heard of the matter, and we hope to learn more soon. We take accusations of this nature that involve anyone within the Houston Texans organization seriously. We will await further information before making any additional statements on the incident. The NFL has thus far refused to comment on our live stream here just a second ago. Hook, Set, and Reel over on our YouTube page at youtube.com/The Rob Brown Show says that there has been a third lawsuit that has been put out. I have not seen that. Hook, Set, and Reel, I will take a look to find out. But, if they're all filed by the same attorney, that doesn't necessarily shock me. Look, here's what I'm going to say. This is the way I'm approaching this story. There's a lot of different factors at play here, right? And I know that Deshaun Watson has a sterling reputation around this area, a sterling reputation around this area. I know that he has a sterling reputation with Clemson fans. I know that he has a sterling reputation with people down in Houston. And I agree with what his attorney says in that these allegations are not consistent with the character of Deshaun Watson, at least as we know it, right? So that to me is something to be considered. But I will also say this. At a point in time where women are coming forward and proving that they have been sexually harassed, to instantly dismiss claims of sexual allegations, not the way to approach it. And somebody last night when I was having this conversation said, Rob, what about what went down with the lawsuit with Duke Lacrosse? Remember the Duke Lacrosse story from a couple of years ago? Young lady said she was sexually assaulted by multiple members of the Duke Lacrosse team. Turned out that she had lied. She had lied. Boldface lied about the whole thing. But in the time that she had lied, guys on the Duke Lacrosse team, the program got cut out entirely. A lot of those guys lost scholarships and opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. There is some level of chance that the women involved in this are just trying to snag the bag, man. They're just trying to grab the bag. And, and on top of that, if they're all going through the same attorney to this, then, yeah, it makes sense that the stories would be there. But what's going to be interesting is what details of the story can be corroborated, right? And again, I'm not saying Deshaun is or is not guilty. I don't know. I'm not an investigator. I only know as much information as you guys know. I have been in contact with a couple of folks down in Houston to see if I could get any inside information. And from what I'm being told, a lot of it's being kept under wraps right now. The reality of this is that the details are under wraps and probably won't come out until a civil suit goes. And I'm not a lawyer, nor did I stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But if they get to the point of discovery and the evidence that is being held by this Busby character is released, we're going to see. If the stories get corroborated, look, here's what I'm going to tell you. All right. I understand Deshaun Watson has a sterling reputation here in the upstate. I am not attempting to diminish that. I know he has one in Houston. I know he's done a ton of charitable work. I am not trying to diminish that. I would not try to diminish that. I'll tell you a real quick story about why it is that to me is not enough to just write this all off. When I was younger and in my more formidable days, my family was friends with a very high-ranking law enforcement official in my county. He was a county law enforcement official. And he was a tremendous dude. Everybody loved him. Great guy, super nice guy. Was friends with my family. Spent time with me and my family. Absolutely a dude that my parents were comfortable with. You know, if I was around, they had no issues with that. Just a great guy. Till he got arrested one day and he went to jail because he had defrauded the county out of thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and acted illegally in the process, right? One of the most trusted men in the community. Now, this is not the same level of sexual assault, but it is something that did hurt a lot of people in that county. A person's reputation does not mean that they are incapable of doing something that hurts other people. All I'm saying is this: let the stories come out. Let the facts come out. Let the details come out. If this Busby guy has as much as he has in the way of receipts, then let it be heard. And if he does not, if he's claiming all these facts and he does not have the receipts to bring to the table, then let him face the repercussions from it. All right. I know this is a tough story because I know the gut instinct here is to defend Deshaun. In fact, I saw a dear friend of mine, a friend of the show, a friend of mine personally, who is a Clemson fan turned Deshaun fan, who said, "That's it. I'm burning my Texans hoodie later on today since they're not defending Deshaun." Look, I don't know. A lot of people go, "I don't think Deshaun's capable." I don't know. I don't know Deshaun. I've never met the guy. I've never hung around him. But like I said, I've had two cases directly in my life where somebody was viewed as incapable of handling themselves in a way that hurts other people until they did, and until they went to jail for it, right? So I'm sorry, but based on the experiences in my own life, I can't just say, well, Deshaun's a nice guy, he wouldn't have done this. I don't know. If this attorney coming after him has got receipts to corroborate the story, then put him on the table. And if he doesn't, let him face the repercussions. Let the women face repercussions. But to just say he's a nice guy, he wouldn't do that, is not a defense. All right? That's all I'm saying. All right. This story is a tough one to talk about. I know it's a tough story to talk about. In fact, I would bet you $1 to a donut there's at least a fistful of Clemson fans, Deshaun fans, that have turned off the radio in the past couple of minutes because of my opinion on this. I know how it works. It's a tough story. It's a tough story to have to talk about, but it is a necessary one. It is a necessary one. All right, 844-GSP-ESP and 844-477-3776. Let's do this. That is item one of the lunch breakdown. I did not intend for that to go as long as it did, but also it's a big story a lot of people are talking about. So let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, Clemson is looking at doing away with their track and field and or cross-country programs for the Tigers athletic department. Now there is a group that is threatening to bring a lawsuit against them if they do that. I'll give you the details of that. Get your thoughts coming up next. I'm Rob. He's Drew. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate.
You're listening to the Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com. Have you heard Offsides with Mark Ryan?
Coming up on a Thursday episode of Offsides with Mark Ryan and Diesel. We're live on location, 1500.6.
Next break, Prisma Health will be the first thing. So, FYI.
All right, sorry about that, y'all. Had to fix a little interweb problem there. Al Gore's internet kind of slowed down on us, so I had to mess around with the router a little bit. Look at Keegan being reasonable in the comments. Sounds like stories are being corroborated, but if receipts are produced, you can't ignore facts. Everybody is capable of making mistakes. Got to let facts in the process take. Yeah, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, man. Especially when it's about a guy that you like, right? A guy that you like. Again, that story I told y'all, I don't think it's slanderous to talk about it. It was the sheriff of Okaloosa County years ago that I'd grown up as almost next door neighbors to this guy. Super nice guy. We all loved him. Really good guy. Shirt off his back kind of guy. And then one day we woke up to the news that he had been arrested. He and some other folks within that sheriff's office had been basically taking money out of the sheriff's office budget and just doing whatever they wanted to do with it. And yeah, we were all, to say we were shocked was the least of it. Now, I'm not putting that on par with sexual assault by any means. But I'm saying that the people because they're nice guys and you don't see them. tell you something about con men. All right. Not that Deshaun Watson is one. Let me be abundantly clear because I don't want anybody knee-jerk reaction. Rob called Deshaun a con. Absolutely not. But I worked with one down in Florida. A very good con man. The thing about people who do this kind of stuff is some of them are very good at building this public character, public facade that is not who they are in real life at all. And they utilize that to get away because people go, there's no way. He's such a nice guy. He would never do something like that. Yeah, they would never until they do. And look, I'm not saying Deshaun did it. I'm just very simply saying let the court, let the investigation take place. Let the case go place.
Just be aware, coming out, Nextberg Prisma Health will be right away.
All righty. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Ron knows exactly who I'm talking about when I say I worked with a con man before. Knows exactly who I'm talking about. Who's the most likely 14, 15, or 16 seed to advance to the next round? Rob Brownski. Also remember the sheriff story. It's a great question. I'll pull my bracket back up for you guys in a little while. I think I had I don't think I had any 14, 15, 16 advancing, Brandon, but let me pull the bracket back up. I'll give you some thoughts. I also got coming up in the next hour, I got some upset picks for you in round one. I gave you my full bracket yesterday. If you want to see my full bracket, it is on ESPNUpstate.com. You can check that out, ESPNUpstate.com.
20 seconds. I know Colgate, I think, was the closest.
Yeah.
Talking about
Colgate, Arkansas was one. A lot of people like Colgate. I don't. I think Arkansas is an underappreciated team. But the Red Raiders, 14-1. It's not a bad little basketball team. Here, you want to hear a funny story? I had Colgate. I had a buddy of mine up here who's a Colgate fan. I'll tell you the story next break. It's worth it.
Around. Real, unfiltered sports talk on the Rob Brown Show, ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate. Let me finish up with one more thought on this Deshaun Watson story. All right. And then we're going to leave it alone because, again, I think it is of massive importance to allow the investigation to take place, to allow the details to come out, the court case to come out. And there's a lot of conversation taking place in the social media sphere because of it right now. Here's what I'm going to say. And this is where, again, I know a lot of people probably kind of took exception to what I said in the last segment. Okay. A lot of people did that, I think, because they look at Deshaun and they go, Deshaun's a great guy and a great person, great character, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't disagree with any of that. I don't know the guy. But what I can tell you for a fact is that with many folks who get caught kind of out of the blue, they are very talented. And again, I am, to be abundantly clear, not saying that this is what is happening with Deshaun Watson. I am trying to explain why it is that I am not rushing to Deshaun Watson's defense right now as somebody who doesn't know him. My experience with Deshaun Watson was watching him kick ass at college and kick ass in the NFL and not much more. I don't know a lot about the guy. I know a lot of people around here have rushed to say he's a great dude. Maybe he is. I hope he is, right? But these types of, now again, I want to be very careful, and this is why I hate being a language guy. There are people, the people that get arrested out of nowhere, go to court out of nowhere, get in trouble out of nowhere, and everybody goes, "Oh my goodness, that's so out of character. That's so out of character." A lot of these folks have a innate ability to craft a perception about themselves that allows them to work in secret when they're doing things that are illegal, inappropriate, etc. A lot of them have that innate ability, right? I worked with a guy, my man Ron over in the Facebook stream just pointed it out. He knows what I'm talking about. I worked with a guy that for years was beloved back in Okaloosa County. He was without question, the face and the voice of sports talk in that area when I was coming up. And everybody loved the guy. He was just an aw shucks old country boy, Ole Miss grad, just a aw shucks kind of guy. Everybody loved him. Till he went to jail for swindling tens of thousands of dollars from business owners around that area. Tens of thousands. People, in fact, I remember vividly to some degree because this is what took my career to another platform. The day that I got called, I was working the morning show. I got off the morning show. I went home. And about an hour and a half later, I got a call from the owner of the station that said, "I need you to come in and I need you to fill in on the afternoon show today. The dude's in jail." I said, "In jail? In jail for what?" And he said, "We don't know. We're going to let the case play out. We're going to see what happens, but he's in jail and we need you to come in and cover the afternoon show." Well, he went to jail. He went through his court case. He got 7 years in prison. Served 3.5, but for 3.5 years, I did both shows on that network. Right? Now, nobody thought that this guy was capable of this. Nobody thought that this was the kind of guy he was. But after we saw it play out, in hindsight being 2020, we were able to connect all the dots about this guy and come to the realization that it was all right there in front of us. We just elected not to see it because we all believed he was just this all shucks. I mean, the guy was big into reading Bible verses on his show, and he would host Bible studies for listeners and all that. He put on a hell of a show to convince us that he was this great guy when he's literally robbing business owners, hardworking, some of them very military veteran business owners, of tens of thousands of dollars for his own personal gain and well-being. Point that I'm making isn't, I believe Deshaun did something. I don't believe that he did, but I also don't believe that he didn't. I don't know. I'm saying this is why it is important to let an investigation take place and get to the bottom of what happened. If there are receipts, they will come forward, and if there are not, then Deshaun will have his name cleared. That's all I'm saying. I know people want me around here especially to rush automatically to the defense of Deshaun Watson because of how great of a guy he is and his sterling reputation in the area. I'm not saying either one of those things are untrue. He clearly has a sterling reputation around the area, and most everybody I've talked to, personal interaction with him, have said he's a great dude. I'm saying, as we had a comment from Hook, Set, and Reel, who just said a second ago on the stream, 1 or 2 women saying things, I would find it hard to believe, but 6, that's a little hard to think he is not guilty. Now, I'm going to go one step further. I don't think that he is, I'm not going to sit here and say I think he's guilty. The default position is, don't know. The default position is, I don't know. The default position is, you want to prove that something happens. This is true in every facet of life. You want to prove that something happened, then you have to prove it. And if they can prove it, then Deshaun will have to answer. But if they can't, then Deshaun goes away not guilty. We've set the whole system up on that. It's ugly. I don't like it. I feel dirty talking about this. I don't like talking. I don't want to be talking about this. But since it is the premier conversation taking place in the upstate right now, we kind of have to. Let's take a break. Come back here in just a minute. We'll get away from this, get into some sports. My name is Rob Brown. Drew's back in the studio. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. That track and field story at Clemson's next on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
You're listening to the Rob Brown Show. Let the game come to you. Listen no matter where.
Prisma Health.
Yep.
And Prisma Health.
I'm saying about my friends at Prisma Health. Prisma Health, the premier medical providers in the upstate. More than 2,400 healthcare professionals reside between the upstate and the Midlands. They have locations all over the place, and they are committed to providing every aspect of healthcare that you might possibly need, regardless of what it is. You just need a general wellness doctor, just somebody to go get your checkup and make sure the old ticker's still ticking and the body's not falling apart on you. Prisma Health's there for you. Got a specific healthcare need. So you or someone in your family is concerned with their fighting cancer, they got you covered. Has a heart issue, they got you covered. Having some sort of issue with the noggin that you need to make sure that you're thinking straight, Prisma Health can cover you there as well. And they can give you that care from trusted healthcare providers around your area. Check out their website at prismahealth.org. Prisma, Prisma health.org. There you can find a doctor. You can see the list of services they provide. Check out their locations around the upstate and the Midlands. Let the official healthcare provider, the Clemson Tigers and South Carolina Gamecocks, be the official healthcare provider of your family at well. PrismaHealth.org. It's Prisma Health here in the upstate.
Have you ever heard
go ahead.
The Bill Burr stand-up on, I think he was talking about Tiger Woods, but he just says all these guys are sitting from their lofty chairs going, it's despicable. And he goes, you just can't understand the amount of temptation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you and I will never, ever know what it means to have literally everyone who is a woman who is chasing us with money and fame and fortune. And he goes, you can't put yourself in those shoes, whether something that they did or not, that it still could happen. I mean, everybody has to understand that.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And that's why I'm not condemning Deshaun Watson and saying, oh, he definitely did it. Look, I'll tell you this, and here I'll go behind the curtain. I hope my mom's not watching. So this is, and again, I'm obviously not comparing myself to Deshaun, Drew, but back in Florida, I play in an 80s cover band, an old 80s cover band, right? And even just playing as the guitar player in a backup singer in a band, you would be surprised the types of, shall we say, opportunities that get thrown at you at 2:00 in the morning in a bar just because you're in a band, right? It's the game. So I can't imagine the temptation when you've got 8-9 figures in your bank account sitting there for you, right?
Yep.
And I was talking with a friend the other day, 2 days ago when this whole story broke, about the fact that it's got to be scary as an athlete if you just want to go out, and forgive me for being crude, but you just want to go out and get your freak on, as the great Missy Elliott once said. You just want to go out and get your freak on. You never know what's going to come of that. And you know, he said, "Is there come a point where, as a young athlete, it doesn't make it worth it to go womanizing anymore?"
Well, in this situation, it's a lot more private, because what comes to my mind, I don't know if you're familiar with Ravi Zacharias. He's a big guy. It was part of the ministry in Atlanta. When it came out that he was involved in the exact same kind of thing, Ms. Sewers came out and basically said, this is what happened. He passed away, but his whole ministry just, all of a sudden, everyone just says, what are we going to do about this? he just said after these conferences and things and messages he would preach, the stress just got to him, and he would go to these massage parlors, and it was just nasty. 20 seconds. So it's a shame.
Yet again, I mean, there's a million different situations that could play out, and some percentage of them are inappropriate. Some Deshaun probably just
manufactured
thought it was getting. I don't know. It's an ugly
This is
situation.
the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate, 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, and everywhere on the radio.com app.
844-GSP, ESPN, 844-477-3776 is the number. Text us at 71307. Start your text with ESPN so we can read it on the air. Tweet us at The Rob Brown Show. Tweet us at ESPN Upstate. All right, so we got through that first item on the lunch breakdown, but it's a big item. It's an ugly item. I don't even like mentioning the fact that this is going to play into the sports side of thing as well. And we're going to be talking to Rashad Beard of the Panthers Nation podcast coming up here in just a little while as well at 1:00. The Carolina Panthers, reports are they are still pushing to try to get Deshaun into Charlotte. You got to ask, does this change things up? I don't even like mentioning the sports side of things when we have stories like this, but I don't know how you don't. But anyway, we'll circle back around to that story later on in the show, or we won't. We will find out. Item number 2 on the lunch breakdown as we do the special extended edition on the show today. A group attempting to save the Clemson men's track and field program has hired an attorney and is threatening to sue the university if Clemson's administration does not reconsider its plan to eliminate the team after this academic year. Clemson announced back in November that it would discontinue its men's cross-country and track and field programs amidst budget concerns brought on by the pandemic. Athletic Director Dan Radakovich cited financial strain and Title IX issues as factors in their decision to eliminate the program. Now, Title IX law requires that schools provide opportunities for male and female student athletes that are proportionate to the overall student population. The Clemson track group, represented by Oakland-based attorney Arthur Bryant, is arguing that eliminating the men's team will put the university in violation of the law by providing too few sports options for male athletes. So it would be an interesting kind of an anti-Title IX stance here. Bryant sent a letter last Friday on behalf of the group to Clemson president James Clements asking that the school provide a response by March 23rd. The letter says Clemson's enrollment is split nearly equally between genders, with men making up 50.01% of the student body. They argued that eliminating the men's track team would leave the school with 318 female athletes and only 229 male athletes. Bryant wrote in the letter, quote, unless Clemson agrees to preserve the men's track and field and cross-country teams or has some plans for compliance to Title IX. Sorry, my headphones are going in and out here. I apologize. Has some plans for compliance with Title IX. We do not yet know. We will seek a preliminary injunction preserving and continuing these teams, end quote. Bryant's letter is the latest step in an ongoing effort to reinstate the track team, which has been spearheaded by a group of athletes, parents, alumni, and advocates who organized in an effort to save the program. Several similar groups at other universities across the country have taken legal action to fight back against their own teams being cut. Since March of last year, 35 Division I schools have announced plans to shutter, indefinitely suspend, or downgrade a total of 115 teams. 22 of those have since been reinstated as a result of pushback from athletes and advocacy groups. Russell Dinkins is a former Princeton runner who has helped organize groups to save track programs at multiple schools, including Clemson. He said the university's claims about both financial strain and Title IX rules are, quote, misleading at best and just plain wrong at worst, end quote. Dinkins also previously filed a Title IX complaint with the Department of Education, claiming the decision to eliminate the men's track team was a form of racial discrimination. He argued that cutting the track and cross-country teams unfairly targets the majority of black athletes on campus who do not earn revenue for the school. He said 2/3 of the black male athletes on campus who do not play football or basketball or are on the track team. Dinkins said the Department of Education is still processing that Title IX claim. Clemson's athletic department has not yet responded to a request for comment. As of Monday, the men's track team competed in what could have been its final national indoor track championship event over the weekend. I am waiting to see if there is a response. If Clemson has offered one, I have not seen it. This was all from a few days ago. But it's not something I've heard a lot of airtime about, so I wanted to give it just a second. And it certainly is an interesting story, to say the least, because it's the first time that I have heard of that Title IX has been used in order to protect male athletes. Now, it's kind of interesting because a lot of athletes on the track team, you see this a lot in like football. You'll see a couple of football players who are also track athletes. And they count only as one athlete, even though they're playing on two different sports. So there's a lot of, a lot of stuff here. Here's what I saw this morning. This is a Clemson track program that has produced a couple of gold medals in the Olympics, a couple of Olympic members over the past few years. And the ACC is a pretty good track and field conference, top to bottom. So a lot of Clemson fans feel like it would be kind of a disservice to get rid of the track and field team, especially if you are talking a couple of $1 million in the budget that could be made up elsewhere. Clemson fans, you got any thoughts? I'd certainly love to hear them at 844-GSP ESPN. Text us 71307. Tweet us at The Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate. Let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. We are going to speak with a representative from our friends at Verizon. They've got some stuff they want to tell you as sports fans that will help you follow the tournament even more closely than you would get to by just talking to us here on ESPN Upstate. So coming up in the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that Verizon is offering in order for you to be able to follow the tournament even more closely. That's next on The Rob Brown Show. This is ESPN Upstate.
You're listening to The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
From the 106.3
So Andrew
WORD Weather Center,
called
here's
me,
the Upstate's most
so
trusted
he's on the line right
forecast
now.
on
Perfect.
ESPN Upstate. We'll see a few scattered showers and
QC
thunderstorms here
Kinetics.
this afternoon with cloudy skies and a high around 71.
Let's get it in.
Tonight, partly cloudy skies develop and a low near 45.
We can do it
Friday,
here,
increasing
or
clouds
we
high
can do it in the
62
first
and
break of the
sunshine
next
for
hour.
the weekend.
I see.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on ESPN.
Yeah, if you want, I can come back
Upstate.
to you.
Currently,
in 30
it's
seconds.
53.
Knock
Okay.
it out now.
That'll work.
Let's do.
Okay, so you can throw a football 90 yards like an NFL QB and get paid the big bucks?
I'm down to be great right now.
No sweat. All you need is 2 ears, a texting finger, and your radio locked on ESPN Upstate with a $1,000 cash stash. Listen every hour from 7 a to 5 p. Weekdays for the keyword. Then text it to 72881. Text and data rates apply in this national contest. You could be the winner of a big chunk of dough 11 times a day. Powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better bettor with the BetQL app today.
All right, let me tell you about my friends at QC Kinetics right here in the Upstate. QCKINETIX.com if you want to take a look at the website. QC Kinetics offers non-surgical regenerative therapies. Look, I'm not going to give you the whole science spiel because, well, it's on the website and they put it in better than even I, the eloquent executor that I am. What they do scientifically is your body heals itself a certain ways encoded within your DNA. Your body knows how to heal itself, but as we get older, as we age, as our joints get more worn down, that healing process is A, slowing down efficiency, and B, also having to work harder and harder in order to get you back to normal. That's where QC Kinetics comes in. They know how to spur on, how to act as a catalyst for that natural healing talent to get you all set to feel better faster and feel better naturally. And you don't have to fly around the world to get there. It's right here in the Upstate. You just got to go to QCKinetics.com, QCKINETIX.com. You can hear from dozens and dozens of satisfied QC Kinetics patients, learn all about the science, or give them a call at 864-448-3772, 3772. Let the folks at QC Kinetics set you up with a free consultation and tell you how you can feel better, faster, naturally without surgery. It's our friends at QC Kinetics here in the Upstate.
Cool. Appreciate it.
All right, let's see.
Forgot about Winthrop and Oregon State beating Tennessee. I'm only
That's
looking
right.
at my bracket. Oh,
You would, you
just
diva.
terrible.
You diva.
Terrible.
The lowest seed I took on my bracket is number 13, UNT over Purdue. Javion Hamlet from Northwest Florida State College. Salute Raiders, can go crazy and take that team with them. I love Javion Hamlet. It was a blast to watch him play and call those games, Ron. That dude's a little stud. Purdue's a good basketball team. And Purdue's got one of the better big men in the country. They've got an inside-out game that's beautiful. Purdue's a good little squad. I don't see that one, unfortunately, for you. Brandon, found y'all's bracket. Y'all got Winthrop and Oregon State as your big upset advancers as 12s. Yeah, I took two 12-5s. I hope I can hit one of them. The Winthrop Eagles are a team that got challenged a lot this year. Again, lesser competition all year, but for the most part, they ran roughshod through it. Oregon State, I don't know why I got to feel it's one of those. Look, I'm breaking my own rule here because I always say don't go gut feeling, go with the numbers, go with the data, go with the matchup. I'm breaking gut feeling on Oregon State. I just looked at the Oregon State team. They got a little. I'm taking Oregon State the same way I picked Alabama to the Final Four and picked Alabama to the championship over Gonzaga. And I know a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy. Going undefeated is ridiculously difficult to do, and at some point you're going to get bit by the curse. And then I'm looking at Alabama again. Numbers wise, they're right up there, but they don't match up with Gonzaga. But and Drew, you and I talked about this game. The heart they put on display to knock off LSU in that SEC championship game, dude, that was a championship mentality that they put on the floor. Can they sustain that through 5 games? I don't know. But if they can, they're going to be tough to beat.
Well, hats off to you. I mean, you called them, you stuck to this, you're faithful, and you're not taking the easy way out. You're not just going to say, all right, Gonzaga like everybody else. So respect. I like it.
Till I'm wrong and every listener who took Gonzaga beats me.
It's worth the risk.
True story. Mike Badbury said last night had AEW women's match of the year. Dude, I think it had wrestling's women's match of the year, man. Britt and Thunder Rosa put on a show. Climbing through thumbtacks on their hands and knees to fight each other. That was unbelievable, man. It was damn near tough to watch in some spots, but that wasn't the women's match of the year. That might have been the women's match of this decade so far. I mean, can you think of a better women's match than Britt v. Thunder Rosa last night? I can't. That was beautifully done.
30 seconds.
Sweet.
Listening to the Rob Brown Show. Listen on your phone everywhere on the radio.com app. Download the app and make ESPN Upstate a favorite for 24/7 real, unfiltered sports talk.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. Wrapping up hour number 1 right here on ESPN Upstate 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, all around the world on the radio.com app. Let's go to the phone lines here. We want to welcome in my buddy Andrew from Verizon. We have got a lot to tell you about based on the different ways that Verizon is helping to enhance the March NCAA tournament moving forward. Andrew, welcome in, man. Great to have you on the show, bud.
Thanks for having me. Exciting times. March Madness is back, right?
Yeah, man. After not having it last year, there's a new appreciation on March Madness this year, Andrew. I think we've all always loved it, but after not getting it last year, especially with how good some of those teams would have been, to have it back this year and to have it enhanced by what you guys are doing is, it's a load off, brother.
Oh, I can tell you. So last year, so I'm a Seton Hall guy, and my Pirates were set to be a 3 seed last year. Unfortunately, they missed out, going into the tournament this year. But that I'm still super jazzed for the tournament this year. I think, as is everyone else, all the college basketball fans.
Yes, sir. Now let's talk. Tell our listeners a little bit, because you guys have really kind of put an added emphasis this year on doing what you can do to enhance the tournament through Verizon technology. Talk to folks a little bit about some of the features, some of the things, some of the tech, some of the phones that you guys are using to try to make Indy, since we can't be there in person, to bring Indy to us a little bit this year for the tournament.
Absolutely. So the first thing, you want to get a 5G phone, right? So, the latest and greatest from Samsung is my favorite, it's the S21. If you are lucky enough to be heading to Indianapolis, that happens to be one of our ultra-wideband cities, so you'll get insanely fast speeds in the arena and around the city. But if you are home, you're going to want that phone, right, to capture all those game day memories, to be able to maybe video call with friends and family. So, Samsung's got that crazy awesome camera that I love. So, the 5G phone, I think, to me is super clutch.
So when we're looking at that S21 and you pair it with some of the technology you bring, I was looking earlier through the Yahoo Sports app that is coming. They've added like augmented reality into it. There's Game Center replays. There's breaking news, live scores, betting odds, stats, everything. And when you pair that with the Galaxy S21, that's a really nice way to be able to stay super close to what's happening in the tournament.
Absolutely. And what I love is you can pick your teams and you can really, stay up to date on all the action, all the upsets. There's so many games to try to keep track of. And what I also love about the Yahoo Sports app, you can put your bracket right in, and they make it super easy for you to pick your teams and really, stay up to date on all the action. So the Yahoo Sports app is one of my favorite. I'm in a bunch of different brackets with, a lot of my friends. It's just a super easy way to stay on top of all the action.
And I'm not going to dime anybody out, but I've got your Final Four picks right here in front of me. You have jumped on the bandwagon with everybody else and gone with Gonzaga, but you've got Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois in there, and you've got Michigan going on to win the trophy. What is it about the Wolverines that gives you hope? They're going to be missing Isaiah Livers out for this tournament. What made you pick the Wolverines?
When I look at my bracket, right, I have a hard time with upsets going through. It's really hard to identify those. So I think it's really easy to just jump on Gonzaga, right, like everyone else. I just, there's something about Michigan. I feel like, by overcoming the injury, I see them making a run. It's just, to me, I feel like, there could be a little bit of magic in the number one seed, as much as the number one seed can have it. But I don't know. I'm feeling good about Michigan.
I love it. Andrew from Verizon joining us here on the show. You tell you a little bit about how Verizon is working extra hard to enhance this year's March tournament. One of the things, in fact, I was in a Verizon store earlier this week, as a matter of fact, looking at some new phones, thinking I might upgrade from what I have. And one of the things that I thought was cool was the amount of phone accessories that you guys have been putting out, some of which can enhance. Now, I'm going to be watching the tournament this year from home, like, everybody else. And one of the things I've really enjoyed doing, Andrew, is basically setting up video calls with other people and watching the game together in real time. So even if we can't be in the same place, we can watch. You guys have the Grip Tight Gorilla Pod stands and some of these other accessories that are going to make watching the tournament from home, when we can't be out at sports bars with 50 TVs, a little bit easier.
I'm so glad you brought that up. So, I've been doing that from home now with baseball, now that the tournament's here, with all the action, you're going to want to set up those video calls. So this Joby Grip Tight 1 Gorilla Pod stand, it's awesome. You pop your phone right in. You can video call your friends, totally hands-free. It just makes for the perfect setup. And one of my other favorite ones that I have to mention is the Phone Soap Home Soap Sanitizer. So, whether even with your family, right, our phones can really get dirty. And, you pop your phone in this device, you open the door, you pop it in 10 minutes, it kills 99% of germs. So, and you can also charge your phone in there. So, you want to be sharing the tips with your family and friends, not any germs. So, I love this sanitizer. It's something that you could use at home. And then, once we're allowed to have more friends and family over, it's just great to have to make sure you stay clean.
All right. And now, Andrew, last question before we got to let you go get to the top of the hour. You get to explain to the people of the upstate, you're picking Rutgers over the Clemson Tigers. Why, Andrew? Why?
I am a New Jersey boy. I as much as it pains me as a Pirate guy to be picking Rutgers, I just feel good. Like they haven't been to the tournament in a while, so I feel like they're really going to bring the energy. But I know that the Tigers haven't been there in a few years, so I think this is going to be a really good fight. It'll be interesting.
I am not going to tell people exactly which store you work at, Andrew, for them to come in and give you a piece of their mind. Instead, I'm going to tell everybody, hit a Verizon store near you, get yourself geared up and set up to enhance your March Madness television enjoyment as much as possible. Andrew, Gonzaga, Michigan, Ohio State, I got you down in our bracket contest. Good luck, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Andrew from Verizon, hit a Verizon store near you. Get yourself geared up and ready to go to enhance your March tournament. Before we get out of here, let you know, time for you to win a little cashola in the $1,000 cash dash here on ESPN Upstate. We've had 2 listeners win $1,000 already in this contest. Your keyword for the 1 o'clock hour is dream. DREAM, like Rob is a dream boat. Okay, I had to push for that one a little bit, but you get where I'm going. Dream, DREAM. You're going to text that word to 72881. 72881. Don't text it to our text line. Text it to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate, powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. Text and data rates may apply in this national contest. Again, this hour's keyword is DREAM, DREAM. Text it to 72881 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. Next hour, we'll be joined by Rashad Beard of the Panther Nation podcast. Talk a little Panthers football. It's the Rob Brown Show right here on ESPN Upstate.
ESPN Upstate, WYRD Greenville, WORD Spartanburg, W249TL Greenville, W246CV Spartanburg, WFBC FM.
Say that again, I can't hear you. Audio's on still, sorry.
Sports station.
There we
Harley
go.
Davidson out of the
Beautiful.
First break.
I am sending you via Facebook. That is Rashad's number.
Okay.
If you will go ahead and get him lined up, we'll be good to go.
You got it. He'll be right away.
Yes, he's coming straight out of the gate.
Sean Baker, you said?
Rashad Beard.
Beard.
I don't know where you got either one of those names, but, you know.
I'm looking at something else. All right. We are good to go on that.
Sweet. All right.
40 seconds.
Beautiful. And we'll come out with the regular intro just like normal.
Sounds good.
Warning.
Man, check this out.
You're on official Rob Brown lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Real, unfiltered sports talk manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown.
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
And away we go. The Rob Brown Show rolls on hour number 2. Getting underway right here on ESPN Upstate. 97.7 FM Greenville. 97.1 FM in the Berg, all around the world on the radio.com app. We go to the phone lines now as we do every Thursday at this time. Welcome in one of the hosts of the Panther Nation podcast. They have become a go-to for me to keep up with all things Carolina football here in the Upstate. My man Rashad Beer joins us here on the show. Rashad, what's up, big dog? Great to have you back on the show, man.
What's up, man? I'm happy to be back, man. Let's get it. A lot has happened since last week.
Yeah, it's been busy, man. We got free agency. The Panthers have been going buck wild in free agency the last couple of days. Obviously, the big one, and I did a segment yesterday, Rashad, and I'm going to give you just the 30-second breakdown of what I said, and then I want you to tell me how wrong or right I am, or if you are still in the gray. All right? Here's what I said.
All right.
Jameis off the board. Andy Dalton signed with the Bears. Seattle's made it pretty damn clear that they're not getting rid of Russell Wilson at this point. You basically got, Alex Smith is going. You basically got every free agent quarterback coming off the board right now, which says to me that every one of those teams has given up on the Houston Texans trading Deshaun Watson. Now, it did get a little bit interesting with the fact that they signed Tyrod Taylor earlier in the week to a one-year contract. A lot of people think maybe that's some insurance. I think they just needed a backup playing a similar game to Deshaun. But I said yesterday, as much as I hate it, as much as I love him there, I think it's time the Carolina Panthers start putting together plan B and figuring out what they're going to go with at quarterback next year, because I don't think they're prying Deshaun Watson out of Houston. Am I off base?
Yeah, no, I think you're kind of right, man. I think that, I think they want to see it. They want to bring Deshaun. I think we were kind of holding off a little bit. That's why you didn't see much action in day 2. I thought that, things were slowing down for the Panthers, and then all of a sudden all the quarterbacks start to drop, like you said. Then Tyrod Taylor gets signed to Houston. So I don't know what's going on with Deshaun. I have no clue. I think the Panthers definitely, I think plan B is the draft. It's always been plan B, but I think they still want to push. I think they can still make it happen if they wanted to. They really wanted to make it happen and bring Deshaun to Carolina. It could happen. I can't call it, honestly. This whole thing is confusing. It's really hard to follow. And man, it's tough. But I think you're right. I think we need to kind of move on and kind of get plan B in place. Yeah.
Look, the dream is still Deshaun showing up. And I got to tell you, I've been one of those guys that's been on board the whole time, Rashad, saying, hey, look, I don't care what you got to give up for the dude. I know one of the first things I hear every time we have this conversation is anything but Christian, anything but CMC. Dude, I'd run CMC on the books for Deshaun. I think he's that good, but I'm at a point now where we got to start putting an offseason together. We got to start building around a roster around our next quarterback. I'm starting to think you got two options, which are you trade up and you go try to snag Justin Fields, or you hang out where you are and you see who you like better between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. There's a lot of talk that we could have 6 quarterbacks off the board in the first 10 picks this year. It's a QB-heavy draft. So with that being said, what's the most likely course of action for the Panthers?
Really, man, honestly, I have no idea. It's again, I call it the QB thirst, and I think Tepper is super thirsty for a quarterback. And I think what's going to happen is I really think we're going to trade up and go and get a guy, whether it's either Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. I think it's going to be one of those two guys. The aggression to get a quarterback has shown way too much in this offseason for us to sit back and just let a guy fall in our lap. I mean, we were almost going to give up a couple first rounders and a second or a third, whatever it was, for Matt Stafford. I mean, if you're going to do that for Matt Stafford, I mean, come on, you gotta do it for Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. So I definitely see us trading up to get the guy we want. Tepper is the kind of guy that's not going to let something fall. He's going to go get it. He said it several occasions. He's going to dictate what he wants. So he's going to go get the quarterback. And I think that's what's going to happen draft night. We're going to go get our guy.
So I was looking through some of your stuff last night, doing a little prep, getting ready to talk with you today, and I came across a video that was kind of interesting to me, and that video was titled, "Is David Tepper Ruining the Panthers?" And I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I kind of sat back and scratched my head like, what are we going to be getting into? Now, I'll tell you, I'm relatively new to the hood. I'm not all that up to date. I mean, I know how some teams love their owner, some teams hate them. What was the inspiration for that conversation?
It basically the inspiration was the Matt Stafford rumors. I think that the guy, he's all over the place, right? For 1 minute, he said, Rome isn't built in a day. And then the next minute, we're out here trying to trade for Matt Stafford. And it's just the optics have been all over the place. And he's just, to me, for an owner, he's just too involved. Now, he's a billionaire. The man can do whatever he wants with the team. Obviously, it's his right. But it's shades of Jerry Jones. It's shades of Dan Snyder. The owner is too involved. Let the coaches coach. Let the GMs GM. And, it's just you're too involved. And one of the comments that really was a red flag for me was, if the GM and the coach can't agree on who we want to draft or who the quarterback is going to be, then I'm going to be the tiebreaker. And I'm like, I mean, come on, like you got to back up and let the guys do their work. And then, going out and getting Matt Rule, it's just things that the order of operations have not been completed properly. You go out, you get a coach, then you let the GM that you fired pick the coach. You fire the GM, then you let the coach pick the GM, assist you with picking the GM. And then it's just weird. It's just a weird situation. So I think David Tepper has he wants, I think his intentions are pure. He wants this team to be successful, but the way things have gone about, just some of the things are just kind of head scratching to me. You say one thing, but then you do the complete opposite. You say you want an analytical head coach. You say you want an offensive minded head coach. And then you go out and you hire Matt Rule. It just doesn't make sense. Some of the things he's saying just doesn't make sense to me. So that was the inspiration for that video. It's a really good conversation. I invited several other podcasters to come and talk. So we had a good roundtable. It's a really good discussion if you get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to check out the YouTube channel for Rashad and the rest of the Panther Nation podcast. It is, you guys, how many times you guys must go live like 4 or 5 times a week, man. It's like every time I look at the channel, there's like 3 new videos. You guys breaking down pro days from Georgia and Trey Lance. And I mean, you guys are putting work in, Rashad.
Yeah, we're putting in a ton of work, dude. It's a lot of work. Anytime news breaks, we try to go live to discuss it. We have a regular show on Monday nights that we've been doing for 4 years. So every Monday night in the off season, we're going live. But I've amped up the pro day coverages, the draft coverages. I'm actually having an opportunity to talk to a couple prospects pretty soon. So yeah, it's pretty cool, man. The channel's growing. We did reach 5,000 subscribers yesterday during that pro day live that I was doing. So we're doing a lot, man. The channel's growing well, doing well, and I appreciate you having us on the show to kind of talk about it too. So it's great, man. We're doing good things.
Absolutely, man. Rashad Beard, host of one of the hosts of the Panthers Nation podcast. Again, follow them on the Twitter. You can follow them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC. Same address on YouTube. All right, so let's talk free agency. for just a second. We got a couple of them the last couple of days. Denzel Perryman, inside linebacker. Panthers also signed former Arizona Cardinals pass rusher Hassan Reddick. Denzel Perryman, kind of an interesting signing to me. I went through and was looking at some of the scouting reports on this guy. Tremendous run stopper, but a little lackluster in coverage. Super high energy guy, loves to bang, but drop back in zone can be a bit of a liability. You think that's a good signing in an NFC South with Brady, with Matt Ryan, and with whoever the hell knows is going to be the quarterback for New Orleans next year?
Jameis Winston, man. Jameis Winston is going to be your quarterback. But Denzel Perryman, yes, I do. I think it's a good signing. It's a good insurance signing. We can't plan on the guy being healthy for 16 games. That's one. He's never played a full season, so you can't plan on him being healthy. But I do think it's a good signing, man. Listen, we had another guy that wore the number 52 last year. We won't say his name, but he was awful. And I think this is an upgrade, definitely in the run game. All those teams you mentioned also have good run games, so you got to be able to stop the run. Again, I think his coverage isn't that terrible. We've seen worse. So again, I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be okay. I think they're going to do some things differently, especially with Hassan Reddick and some of those other athletes we have out there. I think you're going to see some more safeties being drafted or potentially brought up in free agency. I think the coverage is going to be okay. I think we'll be fine for with Denzel Perryman back there at linebacker. I don't have a problem with Denzel Perryman.
Rashad Beard with Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate. The other guy, and this one I do get a little excited about, Hassan Reddick comes out of Arizona. Guy with 12 and a half sacks. I mean, up there quietly towards the top of the board, and you got him at a pretty nice price. That's a major move on the edge. I had to tell you, Carolina got a big jolt to the defensive line with that signing, which I think is going to be critical if they want to make some ground in the South next year.
Absolutely. I think Hassan Reddick, listen, every Panthers fan knew this signing was going to happen. If you've been of the team, been watching the team, been seeing what's going on with Matt Rule, one thing about Matt Rule is he loved his guys. Hassan Reddick went to Temple when Matt Rule was there. So we knew when the Arizona Cardinals declined his 50th option that he was coming to Carolina. It's just a matter of time, and they made it happen. I think it's a good deal. You mentioned the deal. I think it's a good deal for both sides. Because, listen, I had buyer beware on Hassan Reddick. As much as you like the signing and as excited as you sound about it, I was a bit on the fence. Listen, 12 sacks in one season, that's good. But what did you do the prior three? You didn't do much. And I give him some flack a little bit, or give him some credit a little bit, because he did go through a couple coaching changes, went through a coaching change, went through a position change, and finally got into the right spot. So maybe that'll attribute to some of the struggles early. So a 1-year deal, $6 million of that guaranteed, for you to come out and prove that it wasn't a fluke last year. It's a good signing for both sides. I like it. I think you add. It gives you a different look. You can add him as an outside linebacker along with Brian Burns. If you stand Brian Burns up, those two guys coming off the edge is a nightmare. So I like that. I like the signing a lot. Again, just a little bit of buyer beware. I'm pumping my brakes just a little bit on Hassan Reddick. Again, 6'1", 235. He's a bit light. So we'll see what happens. Super fast. Again, the 12 sacks you mentioned. Really good. We'll see what happens, though.
Rashad Beard from the Panthers Nation podcast. One more question for you. We'll let you get back to business, man. I'm going to ask you a technique question here, and it might come out of a little bit of left field here, but I was reading through a post yesterday, and it got me thinking a little bit. Morgan Fox played as a 3-4 defensive end with the Rams last year. Hassan Reddick didn't break out until they moved him to an outside backer position, which is where he picked up a handful of those sacks. Brian Burns is almost a prototypical 3-4 outside linebacker. Derek Brown, coming out of Auburn, I think, a phenomenal nose tackle. You've got a couple of other guys that feel like 3-4 outside linebackers more than they do kind of 4-3 inside backers. Any chance Carolina rotates to a 3-4 defense next year?
100%. I think we've done it. We've always had shades of it. Last year, we ran several 3-man fronts, more often than I like to see, actually, given the personnel we had. But I do think that is inevitable at this point. I think you'll see more of it. I still think we'll be a hybrid front, but I think you'll see more 3-man looks, 3-4 defense. I mean, like you said, you got the guys. I actually did this. I broke this down last night on the live stream that we did, but I definitely see this moving forward to a 3-4 for sure. 100%. I 100% see it.
Love it. Rashad Beard is the host of the Panther Nation podcast. Find them under that name on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC. Rashad joins us every Thursday right here at 1 o'clock on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. Rashad, my man, fantastic job. Looking forward to some more stuff out of you, and we'll get you back on next week, big dog.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate it, man. That's Rashad Beard. Again, follow him on Twitter at Panther Nation PC, on the YouTube at the same handle. Let's come back here in just a minute. I got games. I'm looking at upsets this weekend. Y'all, I'm about to win you some money in the play-in games in round number 1 on Friday and Saturday. You're going to want to stick around for that. My name's Rob Brown, DJ Drew at the helm. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate.
You're listening to the Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker.
Be right back, streamers. Taking a quick break.
Upstate.
Harley Davidson is next.
That's right. Tell you about my friends at Harley Davidson of Greenville. Why? Because they're fantastic. Because after we get through this little bit of treacherous weather rolling through, it is going to be beautiful riding weather this weekend, and they want to help you fulfill the dream, man. You know how people, how you doing, man? I'm living the dream. Yeah, there's one time you can say that and not be full of it. It's when you're on the back of a piece of Americana, a brand new Harley Davidson from Harley Davidson of Greenville. And if you go to their website, upstateharley.com, you can get pre-qualified now to jump on the back of a brand new Sportster starting at $69 a month. You can jump on the back of a brand new Softail or Dynaglide at $99 a month, or a Street Glide and a Road Glide starting at $189 a month. They have over 180 brand new models to pick from. In the new 2021s, they got new paints. They got new finishes. They got new options like the cooling seats, the Rockford Fosgate audio. And on top of all of that, all the work that needs to be done to customize and perfect that bike for you, they will do it right there in shop at Harley Davidson of Greenville. Again, go to their website, upstateharley.com, or just go to the shop and check out their beautiful showroom at 30 Chrome Drive in Greenville. They want to see you. It's Harley Davidson of Greenville.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports
All right,
Flash.
now I'm taking a break and I'll be right back, streamers. I knew we could do it. All right, and we're back. Steven says, Rob, what do you think of the Snyder cut of Justice League, and do you think Lonzo's vacation had anything to do with its release? Strong possibility. I did not take that into consideration. I don't have an opinion on it yet because I haven't seen it yet. It's 4 and some change hours long. It's not like I was able to just wake up early and pop that one on the old television before the show started, but I am hoping that I will get to give it a run sometime in the next 3 or 4 days, ballpark. All right. ESPN, say what you want about Tepper. He is an upgrade from Richardson, who was racist and sexist. Yeah, that's an easy upgrade. That's the easy upgrade. How many on time there, Drew Diggity?
Back yet, Rob?
Yeah. Can you not hear me?
Answered another one.
Can you hear me? Drew? Drew? You can hear me, right? Hello? Everybody wave at Drew till he looks at me. Drew! I don't think Drew can hear me.
Oh, you are back.
There it is.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all good. I was like, Drew!
I pushed the wrong cue for router 2.
It's all good.
I had to delay myself because like my recording was saving from that interview and I couldn't get it back. So I was like, we can't come back yet until I'm done.
It's all good.
What was Andrew's name? How do I put that on the highlights from last show? Andrew with Verizon is what I had.
That's literally all I know. So that'll work.
Okay. Interviews Andrew with Verizon. That'll
work.
All right. That's getting posted now. 20 seconds and you'll be back.
You're listening to The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate. Join us on the live stream, Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, Twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, and on YouTube at The Rob Brown Show. Love to have you. Thanks for hanging out with us on those live stream. Stephen Webb writes in on the live stream, says, Rob, what did you think of Snyder's cut, and do you think Lonzo's vacation had anything to do with its release? I haven't seen it yet, obviously. It just dropped, and this whole real job thing gets in the way of a good social life sometimes. So I have yet to see it. Plan on hopefully having it watched by the time we roll back around and Zoe's back on Monday. Did Zoe take vacation specifically so he could go watch the Snyder cut? I have no idea, but probably is the answer there. Couple of texts that have come in on our text line, 71307, 71307. ESPN, say what you want about Tepper. He is an upgrade from Jerry Richardson, who is a racist and a sexist. Yeah, I would say the fact that he lost an NFL franchise over it is pretty accurate. Is pretty accurate to that. Got another text right now that asked if Alex Smith has been picked up yet. No, Alex Smith has not yet been picked up by a team. He is still a free agent. But here's the thing. I would not pick him up. And that's not to say I don't have incredible respect for him and what he did and the fact that he came back from that injury. Immense respect for Alex Smith. That's a friggin' G to be able to come back from an injury like that, get back out there on the field, and do what he did. Again, name the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award after Alex Smith. My dude deserves it. He's a gangster. But I wouldn't want to be the guy that has to call on him to play. Would you? Would you? Seeing what you saw out of him, knowing what you know about that leg injury, knowing about the fact that he is surgically reconstructed like an android, knowing full well that one shot, and look, this is true of anybody's knee. I know somebody said this early, what was it, last week or early this week when we talked about it, when I said, I don't want to be the guy. Somebody said, well, Rob, that could happen to anybody's knee. Yes, it's true. Anybody's knee could be blowed up on any given play. Joe Burrow, we know that. But the resistance offered by a surgically reconstructed, I don't want to be the guy that takes that risk. Drew, do you want to be the call? Do you want to be the guy that makes the call that sends Alex Smith onto the field only for his knee to explode a second time? Do you want to be the guy that makes the call and have to live with that? I don't. I absolutely don't. I have no interest in being that guy. So, no, Alex Smith is not signed. No, he's a free agent. I got to tell you, Drew, I think I'd bring Teddy Bridgewater back before I signed Alex Smith to be the starting quarterback if I was the Carolina Panthers. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. The Teddy Bridgewater is an okay quarterback. He's an average to maybe slightly better than average quarterback. Alex Smith might be better than Teddy Bridgewater, but I don't trust him to make it through a full season, and it's not his fault. I hate it because I have immense respect for the cat. I think what the cat did last year was more than admirable. But I'm not going to be the one that makes the call to send him back out there to get him hurt again. I can't do it. And I'm not going to base my entire franchise on Alex Smith's robo-leg. Can't do it. I don't want to do it. So if I am the Panthers, to respond to that texter, and I appreciate all the texts at 71307, start your text with ESPN. If I am a texter, if I'm a texter, what's wrong with me? Pay attention, Rob. If I am the Panthers, I will go ahead and bump myself up in the draft. What would Rashad say? I think he made a great point. If you were willing to offer 2 draft picks, first rounders, for Matt Stafford out of Detroit, then offer 2 first rounders to bump up and get Justin Fields. Offer this year's first, next year's first, put a couple of put a package together with maybe a player somewhere, and bump up and try to get your spot to go get Justin Fields. You're not getting Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields, widely considered the second best quarterback in this draft class. So go get him. Or prepare yourself to hang out at 8. Prepare yourself to make that draft at 8. Prepare yourself to pick up Mac Jones or Trey Lance and make something out of them. But Alex Smith ain't the answer. It's not the answer. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us 71307. When we come back here in just a minute from right now, first round potential upsets that I've got in the bracket. Who am I picking to move on with the lower seed? I'll tell you that next. I'm Rob. He's Drew. This is the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Call 844-GSP-ESPN.
No read here, correct?
We're good for quite a bit.
Perfect. BRB, kids.
Yep.
All right. Andrew Lord coming up at 140. So quick little in and out right here, Drew. Oh, I need to find out, are we calling him or if he's calling us?
I am standing by.
All right. Do I have a phone number for him? Oh, yeah, I got a phone number for him. Okay. We'll call him if we don't hear from him.
Okay.
And yeah, this segment's going to be like 3-4 upsets and then all the way out. Sports Center on ESPN Upstate.
I just did that wrong. 30 seconds.
Listening to the Rob Brown Show. Let the game come to you. Listen no matter where you go. In Anderson, Clemson, Greenville, and Spartanburg. ESPN Upstate is always streaming on the radio.com app.
All right, y'all. A couple of upset picks in the bracket. We're going to talk to Coach Andrew Lord of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits coming up in the next segment as they get set for a 3-game homestand against the Everblades of Florida. That's in the next segment. A couple of upsets. Drew, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down on these upsets. The first one I've got, if they make it in through the play-in game tonight, which I suspect that they will, although there is a chance the Bruins of UCLA could pull it off, Michigan State to knock off the BYU Cougars. Michigan State going up in what looks like a Hoosier sequel, right? The Spartans have a decent shot against the Cougs if they make their way past the Bruins. They are not the worst shooting team in the field, or not the best shooting team in the field, but they got a couple of guys like Joey Hauser who can absolutely pull the ball. Malik Hall has been very impressive. They lost against Maryland in the Big Ten tournament. Not a bad Maryland team, a Maryland team I've got moving into the second round as well. BYU done no favors as a 6 seed, ending up getting the winner of this game. And of course, the winner of this game is going to fight the probably Texas, although there are some folks that like Abilene Christian. I'm not amongst them. I like Michigan State to pull the upset over number 6 BYU and move into the second round. Drew, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I would say a thumbs up. I don't have them on mine, but why not? I mean, they're right there with Rutgers in their overall record of 15-12.
Yep.
And Rutgers is not playing a play-in game and will probably beat Clemson. So why not?
Another upset. I'm not buying. But there are a lot of people who say that they will, and that is the Colgate Red Raiders. In the ESPN simulation, they've been given better than a 1/3 opportunity to knock off the Razorbacks at 35%. Not a national top 10 power, but the best team the Patriot League has produced in 4 seasons. Jordan Burns, Jack Ferguson, Tucker Richardson, Nelly Cummings, 4 guys you want to keep an eye on. All 4 of those guys can burn up the nets from 3-point land. Arkansas's defense has not done much. You talked about the fact that you watched LSU shred them from 3-point landia a couple of games ago. It's not the biggest long shot in the world for the Colgate Red Raiders to knock off the Arkansas Razorbacks. Drew, thumbs up, thumbs down?
It would have been a thumbs up, I guess, if this had been so much under the radar. It's gotten so much attention. Maybe the Razorbacks will play with a little more chip on their shoulder. You can fix those defensive problems pretty quickly, in my opinion.
One I do have as a 12-5 upset, that would be the Winthrop Eagles over the Villanova Wildcats, a popular 12-5 pick. This one's really interesting. Colin Gillespie is a Villanova stud who is done for the season because of a knee injury, which hurts you in 2 fronts, Drew. Not only are you now playing without one of your best players available, but now you've got to find a way to work the chemistry without a guy that the ball ran through very frequently offensively for the Wildcats without Colin Gillespie out here. There's still some pretty good players, and the Eagles are still going to have to bring the best game they have. But with Gillespie going down, Winthrop over Villanova is not the biggest wild card opportunity we've seen.
Everybody's talking about it. A lot of people have Winthrop winning this game. Definite thumbs up.
Sure. UC Santa Barbara taking on Creighton. Look, Creighton's a number 5 seed in this one. It's a good squad. That West bracket is going to be super chalky, I think. I only had one upset picked out there, and it wasn't even that big of an upset. I think I took the 9 over the 8, and that was really it. But UC Santa Barbara v. Creighton is kind of interesting. And in terms of unadjusted net efficiency, UC Santa Barbara ranked 9th in the country. Granted, comes at a rub when you adjust for opponent strength, where they drop down to 54th, but that's still a very impressive number. The Blue Jays, 13th in BPI, meaning they're better than expected for an average number 5 seed. Most models think Creighton was probably more suited to be a 7-8 seed. So while this looks like a major 12-5 upset, really a lot of folks think Creighton probably seeded a little bit higher than they deserve to be. UC Santa Barbara getting the dub wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, definite thumbs down on Creighton getting upset. Creighton could probably go pretty far in this tournament. So if you have them knocked out, then you could just totally rip up that entire side. They play Virginia, I believe. After that, all things should go as planned.
Yeah, don't disagree. Syracuse over San Diego State. This one's got split reviews. The folks who believe Syracuse can get the upset are pretty damn committed to it. The folks who think the Aztecs are just better are pretty damn committed to that. Syracuse, I think, is one of the better chances for a first round upset. The Orange are just a good team. They really are. And we saw that leading into the ACC tournament and in the opening game for Syracuse, the ACC tournament. When they are on, they're a pretty good team. San Diego State, for being a 6 seed, really didn't hear a whole heck of a lot about them throughout the course of the regular season. ESPN simulations are giving the Orange a 39% chance at pulling this upset. I took it before I looked at those numbers, Drew, and I feel even better about them now that I've seen them.
Yeah, definitely. I thought about this more. I felt like you and I were a little too strong maybe yesterday, just going Syracuse is definitely going to win. I was too strong. So I reevaluated that. San Diego State is definitely a better team, but Syracuse is just playing too good a basketball to write them off right now.
Don't hate it. All right, let's do this. There's a few upsets for you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Andrew Lord, head coach of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. They are set for a three-game homestand coming up this weekend at the Well against the Florida Everblades. We'll talk about where they stand and a whole lot more with Andrew Lord, head coach, Greenville Swamp Rabbits. That's next on the Rob Brown Show. This is ESPN Upstate.
Hey, Rob can read, so he says.
All right. Yeah, that should be him calling. See what Brandon says. Heard a lot of chatter about Carolina coming from a Dirty Birds number 4 pick this year. Falcons fans want Fields too. If they want him that bad, ship a CMC, go full rebuild, make Fields the guy, because as long as CMC is there, he is the guy in Carolina. I'm not giving you CMC for the pick or Justin Fields straight up. I'm not doing it. I think I really run CMC's probably got, 3 years left before the injuries and just the wear and tear of running back, especially his style of running back, starting to catch up with him. I don't know. I might be willing to risk it for Justin Fields if I truly believe Justin Fields is the guy. I don't know yet, man. I want to see it out of Justin Fields. Did really well at Ohio State, but that game against Alabama left a lot to be desired. He put his heart out there. But no, I look, and here's the thing. and Brandon, as a Falcons fan, you can answer this. Y'all done with Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, not Ryan? Y'all shipping him out? Are y'all done with him? If you're ready to move on from Matty Ice, then I'd take Justin Fields at the 4. If you're not ready to move on, here's the other thing. Carolina might be looking at coming for that number 4, Brandon. They might be looking at it, but there's going to be 3, 4, 5 other teams in the top 20 that are also looking at moving up, because there's a clear drop from Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields down to Mac Jones, Trey Lance. Who am I forgetting? And whoever the other name is. But so if you can get in on Justin Fields and get in on that 1A quadrant of draft picks, that's absolutely the way to go. Absolutely the way to go.
Andrew Lord is on the line.
Perfect.
What's in the description again for this hour for this interview?
You can just put Andrew Lord, head coach, Greenville Swamp Rabbits.
Gotcha. That's right. I answered it, and I thought he said a different name. I was like, oh, shoot, it's just a random
Lordo. He's a good dude. I like him. We've gotten hung out a couple times away from the business side of things.
I still think Swamp Rabbits would be a good kind of beer or alcoholic brand or something. Drink the Swamp Rabbits. And
There's got to be a Swamp Rabbit beer by now.
Yeah. If not, I'll make one. Another news, in Georgia, a man named Joshua Seguin was arrested for transporting sharks in the back of his truck. 5 sharks in a large circular tank in the back of his truck. I want to know where my sharks are, Joshua. I want my money back. Apparently, he was raising sharks in his pool.
How does one even do that? In his pool?
Yeah, in his home in New York. He drove down from New York to Georgia, so it's the Uber Eats of shark delivery here.
Uber sharks. You ever had to work on a saltwater aquarium?
Have I had to work anything with animals? No. Have you?
I had a roommate who had a saltwater aquarium once, and
That's awesome.
the amount of work you have to put into keeping a saltwater aquarium is ridiculous. Like, you have to tinker with it every freaking day to keep saltwater animals alive. So the fact that he was able to keep sharks in a pool, like if he rigged the pool to be a saltwater environment, that's pretty freaking ridiculous.
Like, I know most animals are dependent on their owners, but to me, to be a fish is the most terrible kind of karma to any animal, that I'm totally dependent on you. I did have a betta fish that I bought straight out of college. That thing died pretty quickly, but as I was buying it, the cashier said, "Oh, I had a couple of betta fish. They all fought each other." And I said, "Yeah, you can't put them in the same tank. They're a solo fish."
Yep.
I mean, so that needs to be a crime. A betta fish fighting rink. But man, raising sharks together, that must be crazy.
I had a betta fish once named Kingfin, like Kingpin, but he was a fish, so Finn. You know how it goes. Let's see.
60 seconds.
Matty Ice restructured his contract the other day, bought him some time, made me look back of the idea of take Fields and don't look back. Yeah, restructuring though, like, I don't know, man. It's a salary cap move is all it is. I see guys restructure the contract, and what a lot of these guys do is they end up converting a lot of their salary to signings, to bonuses and whatnot. And then they'll they'll front load the contract so that they can put basically voidable years onto the back end. It almost kind of makes me wonder if Atlanta wasn't prepping to cut or trade Matty Ice down the road a little bit and go Justin Fields. But, you know, I've told Brandon this multiple times. I mean, if there is a more underachieving franchise in the NFL over the past 10 years than the Atlanta Falcons, I don't know who it is. Really. I don't know who it is.
You're listening to The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate. To the phone lines we go. Welcome in a friend of the show, friend of mine, head coach of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, Coach Andrew Lord, here on the broadcast with us. Lordo, how we doing headed into the 3-game homestand, big dog?
I'm good, man. I feel like I'm back in Wales where I used to coach with this rain for once. It's crazy. Coming down.
It's gross. It's gross. Good news is we got a bunch of time to be inside watching some hockey this weekend, which I know kind of takes the distraction away from you. Let's catch up. It's been a couple of weeks since we've gotten to have you on the show, Coach. You guys had an interesting series on the road up at Rapid City. Dumped an 8 spot on them in the first game, but then a pair of 2-1 defeats on the back end. And I want to ask you about the consistency of this team, because as you look down the schedule, you see spots where there's 8s and there's 6s and 5s and there's 4s, and then there's other spots where these low scoring games, you guys end up on the short end of that stick. Kind of give me a little bit of the mindset of how you attack it when you see those 8s and those 6s and then turn around and the next night put one up on the board. Is that just hockey? Or is that part of the way this team operates?
We certainly seem to use them up all in one night, which is not ideal. It's nice that night. We're all riding high that night. But, yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, obviously there's an element of hockey. It's a little black biscuit on frozen water. It's a crazy game. Things happen. That being said, there is a consistency element that we need to be better at. I actually do believe over the last, 6 to 8 games, we've played a lot of good hockey, probably our best stretch of actual. If you're looking at, systematic details, those type of things, we've actually had a somewhat similar lineup as well during that time, which has helped. I know there's a lot of movement at the minor league level. But yeah, we have 10 rookies. We're working on that consistency from night to night. And, it's just little things, little 5% things, not getting to the net enough. Our screen's a little off, just some execution plays, maybe missing a detail here or there systematically. And it's amazing, if you beat a team and you play them again the next night, they up their game 10%, right? So if they bring their game up 10 like Rapid City did, we let ours down 5%. All of a sudden you have a 15-point spread. It can really change the scoreline very quickly, and that's exactly what happened there in Rapid City.
Talking to Coach Andrew Lord, head coach of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. For folks in the area who maybe know hockey but don't know hockey, when you have those consistency issues where, and I'm sure it can be frustrating to fans to look and go, okay, we can put up 8, but then the next night get 1. As a head coach, how do you address that? What are the kind of things you're saying to the team? What are you guys working on to try to clean that angle of the game up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's maybe a little bit of a misconception. An 8 spot for us is actually probably more unlikely than a 1 spot, right? It's, most teams, a good team in our league, probably just above 3 goals for a game on average. So that kind of gives you a feel of, what we're aiming for, looking for. Right now, currently, we're a little bit below 3. Again, it's, starts with puck management for sure. The more you have the puck, the more offense you're going to create. So that changes a little bit from what team you're playing, depending on the structure they play and where you need to put the puck. But, ultimately starts with the puck management. And then from there, creating good high percentage opportunities, right? Not just throwing the puck away or shooting when there's no screen. Kind of layman's terms, you want to create high percentage chances with bodies at the net and traffic at the net and make it hard on your opponent. So, without going into massive detail, those are sort of some of the buzzwords and things we focus on. And I do think, we're getting better at that. We're learning, but you also have to have an element of understanding of when you run into a hot goaltender or a team that's defending a certain way. We have our sort of audible plays and what we need to do that to get around those situations. And ultimately, we got to get that execution down and that consistency down in those situations.
So 2 of 3 away from the Jacksonville Icemen down in Florida last weekend, including a 6-3 win to close out that series. Now you come back home, you get another team from Florida in the Everblades this weekend, a 3-game homestand starting Friday and Saturday at 7:05, a 3:05 drop on Sunday. Tell me a little bit about your view on this Everblades team that Swamp Rabbit fans are going to see in the well this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, other than us, I believe they're the best team in the league right now. I think they're been around for a while. Same coach for at least 6 years. A number of good core pieces of that team that have been around for a few years. The chemistry is clearly there. They have a very similar lineup game to game, especially as of late. They're rolling. I think they've won 4 or 5 straight. They're a big team, fast, physical. They play very structured. The systematic detail is definitely there. Definitely coached well, and they've had a ton of success the last number of years. So I think it's a great test for us at the midway point here under the new ownership and new coaching and so many new players, and to really see where we're at. I think we've grown a lot as a group since the early part of the season. I'm excited to see how it goes here.
Andrew Lord, head coach of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. One aspect of coaching this level of professional hockey that I find really intriguing, Coach, is that you guys have guys getting called up and reassigned. You have guys getting assigned to the team, and it can change your roster dozens of times over the course of the year. How do you as a coach approach keeping the chemistry and the style of play together when you've got guys coming in and up? You've got guys like Brohl coming in from Indy, Lethman being recalled by LA. How do you attack being able to keep your roster together chemistry-wise when you know that it could be changed by a phone call at literally any minute?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. There's been a ton of movement. We have a number of call-ups in the American League so far this season, which I think is a great accomplishment, for the entire organization. There's a lot that goes into that, and we're really proud of that. That being said, it does present its challenges. I think as many moves as we've had this year, we still do have a great core group. We have some guys that maybe a little bit older, they're not looking to move up anymore. They're here to stay. They love Greenville. They want to play for the city, for the fan base. They've been a really great core, and they've helped a lot. I also think there's our fundamental values as a hockey club and organization, working hard for each other, being team players. I think that core I speak of really brings that, and I think that rubs off. I think that, from our ownership all the way from our off-ice team to our on-ice team, everyone's on the same page, and I think that culture's infectious. So I think, to answer your question, when a new guy comes in, it's very obvious, how they need to kind of fall in line and join and help the group. So I think that's been a piece. And then, obviously from a hockey side of things, you can't go overboard. Definitely have to dial back, or be careful of overcoaching, trying to implement too many things on the fly. When you got guys, that are rolling in for a game tonight, so to speak, it's tough to throw too much at them. You're just going to have them overthink and not play to their strengths.
Coach Andrew Lord, head coach of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. The Rabbits about to line up for 3 in a row, Friday, Saturday nights, and then Sunday afternoon with the Florida Everblades right there at the well. Coach, man, great to have you on again. I appreciate it. Going to be a phenomenal 3-game stand. I know the last home stand saw a really energetic, really thorough crowd. Hoping we can fill it up back again this weekend.
Yeah, it's going. It's you can tell things are getting a little bit back to normal here. Arena's starting to buzz. And we're all very excited for this weekend. It'll be a great show of hockey. I know the fan base will enjoy it.
Good deal. Coach Andrew Lord, my man, appreciate it as always, bud. We will see you in the well this weekend, my man.
See you soon, pal.
Looking forward to it. There you go. That's Andrew Lord, head coach of your Greenville Swamp Rabbits. You can check out their website at greenvilleswamprabbits.com to pick up tickets for the homestand this weekend. We will see you at the Well. I'll be there on Saturday night for sure, maybe tomorrow night as well. Before we get out of here for the hour, your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 Cash Dash on ESPN Upstate. The keyword for this upcoming hour is wallet. W-A-L-L-E-T. Wallet. W-A-L-L-E-T. Text that keyword to 72881 for your chance to become the latest ESPN Upstate listener to win $1,000 in the $1,000 Cash Dash on ESPN Upstate, powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. This hour's keyword again, wallet, W-A-L-L-E-T. Text it to 72881. Back after this for the final hour of the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
ESPN Upstate, WYRD Greenville, WORD Spartanburg, WFBC FM HD3 Greenville, Radio.com sports station.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on ESPN Upstate. As the NCAA men's basketball tournament gets underway, several prominent players took aim at the NCAA on social media Wednesday, demanding changes to how they're compensated in the latest organized display of power by college athletes using the hashtag #NotNCAA Players such as Isaiah Livers of Michigan, Geo Baker of Rutgers, and Jordan Bohannon of Iowa among those pushing for NCAA reforms. With this year's tournament taking place in Indianapolis, just a short walk from NCAA headquarters, players urging the association to allow them to earn money for things like sponsorship deals, online endorsement, and personal appearances. Baker tweeted, "The NCAA owns my name, image, and likeness. Someone on music scholarship can profit from an album. Someone on academic scholarship can have a tutor service." Download the free Score app. Lightning fast updates so you never miss a thing. It's why the Score app is one of North America's most popular sports apps. That's your Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders on ESPN Upstate.
Have you heard the Rob Brown Show?
And this is where the pre- and post-game shows on some of these studio shows. Geese? Yes, that was Geese. They live outside in the lake behind my apartment, and they do not shut up ever. That is the honking of the great Canadian geese, which, to be frank, though, I kind of wish they'd go back to Canada. 5:30 every morning. Honk, honk, honk. Every morning I got to deal with that crap. You hear them? Can you still hear them?
Yeah, we all can still hear them.
They are 6 feet from my window, and they are there all friggin' day. And if a leaf falls, they honk at it. If somebody on the other side of an apartment starts a car, they honk at it. If a squirrel runs across the yard, they honk at it, starting at 5:15 to 5:30 in the morning and ending basically never.
Hey, Greenville, Spartanburg. Catch the Rob Brown Show, weekday to 3 on ESPN Upstate.
I know you heard all that.
That's okay. I really like my Goose promo that I made, so I was happy
fun
to listen to it.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the one that I did about the goose that tried to murder me?
No.
How much time we got left?
5 seconds.
Okay, that's not enough time.
Oh, okay.
I'll play it for you in the next break.
Morning.
Man, check this out.
Your unofficial Rob Brown Lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Real, unfiltered sports talk manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown.
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
All right, away we go. The Rob Brown Show, hour number 3 gets kicked off now. I am Rob Brown, my man DJ Drew back in the network studio on the ones and twos. Welcome back to the program. Great to have you along for the ride. You heard the promo about the geese there a second ago. In our live stream, which you can find at Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, Twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, or you can find at YouTube.com/The Rob Brown Show. At Hookset and Reel just said, I hate geese. Had one almost drown me. Listen, I don't know what you got going on in your life, Hookset and Reel. I don't know if you got some time to kill right now, but I'm going to need you to type out that entire story immediately for me to read. I need to know exactly what happened. I was telling Drew that there was a There was not terribly long ago. In fact, here, I don't think I'm supposed to do this. Not too long ago, Drew, I had a goose right after I moved here. I had a goose that tried to murder me. Here, I made a promo out of that story. Here's what it sounds like if I can get it to play. It was terrifying. It was an absolutely horrifying experience. Oh, let me unmute my my CPU there.
And threaten it, Lonzo. It fights back.
No, all right, that sounded terrible. Let's try that one more time again.
Rob Brown Show. You know what a goose does? If you go outside and threaten it, Lonzo, it fights back like a jerk. And if you continue to threaten the goose, it will straight up come after you, bro. Geese, DGAF, as the kids say. Last year, had a goose outside my apartment. 5:30 in the morning. This little son of a gun would not shut its stupid goose mouth. So I went outside thinking, all right, I'm going to go scare the goose. The goose runs at me. I close the door, and the goose starts slamming its head against the door. I thought birds lack spatial awareness. Once I'm gone, the bird can't see me anymore. Its eyesight is based on movement, like the T-Rex. Thank you, Dr. Grant. You're a damn filthy liar is what you are. Because this goose knew I was on the other side of the door. It is beating its head against the door like it's got nothing else to live for except murdering me.
Drew, that's a true story. That is a 100% true story. Right after I moved here, it tried to murder me like a murderer. Hookset and Reel says, oh, you have the video of it on the channel. It says, I was in my kayak and I got too close to the nest, I guess, and the thing attacked me like a kamikaze. What is it, man, about geese? They're little dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs evolved into birds. Dinosaurs are birds. All the other birds, somewhere in the process of millions of years of evolution, lost the murder everything gene. The goose did not, Drew. The goose has still got the murder everything gene tucked tightly away in its DNA. I believe that. That's a fact.
Most terrifying animal, hands down.
It's the worst. It's the worst. You know what we're going to do? And I have not done this before, but you know what we're going to do today, y'all? This is going to be fun. What we are going to do today, after I get done with the show at 3:00, I'm going to continue the live stream, okay? I'm going to stay live. Go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. And if Hookset and Reel will consent to this and will give us permission, at 3:00 when we go off the air, we are going to disconnect from the radio station. I am going to stay live on the stream, and we are going to go together and watch that channel. We are going to go watch that channel together. We are going to go watch that video because I need you, especially those of you that are streaming from around the world or listening on the radio.com app that do not have daily interactions with a Canadian goose. I need you to understand how deadly serious I am when I say that these little jerks are straight up evil, bro. Straight up evil. Straight up evil. Right? They're mean. They suck. Little brother came in town and he's out running errands or whatever while I'm doing the show. And he walks in and he's like, oh, that's cool. They're geese. You know what I said to my little brother when he said, oh, that's cool. They're geese. You know what I told him, Drew? I said, yeah, dude, they're really cool. You can walk right up to them and pet them. Go out there and see what happens. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, go out there, pet them. See how it goes. See what happens. They're really cool. They're super chill. You can walk right up. You can pet them right on the head. Like a little bird puppy.
Try to feed them.
Yeah, man. Chicken. Bring some grain out there. They'll eat right out of your hands. What I should have said is they will eat your hands. That's a more factual statement.
And they have these little teeth.
They do. No one told me about that until the first one hissed at me.
Yeah.
With his teeth. All right. I can't talk about geese anymore. I'm having flashbacks to the murder goose. All right. A couple of news stories that we haven't gotten a chance to hit yet. Darion Kendrick, former Clemson player, has been charged with gun and drug violations in his hometown of Rock Hill, South Carolina, according to officials and police records. This being reported by the Herald. Darion Kendrick, 20 years old, arrested Friday morning of last week and charged with unlawful carrying of a handgun, according to Lieutenant Michael Chavis of Rock Hill Police Department. Rock Hill patrol officers were on a street around 3 a.m. Friday when Kendrick was found in a car. He was asleep with a gun on his lap. According to court records, Kendrick was issued a citation for simple possession of marijuana after a small amount of the drug was found and seized. Kendrick was the sole occupant of the vehicle. The warrant states, quote, he was located asleep in his girlfriend's vehicle with a black Glock 19 9mm semi-automatic pistol sitting in his lap. Kendrick does not have a concealed weapons permit, according to the warrant. The weapons charge is a misdemeanor that will be prosecuted in York County, yada, yada, yada. Kendrick was taken to Rock Hill Jail, booked. According to Chavis and police records, his mugshot was taken. He appeared in court later that morning, according to records obtained by the Herald, released later that day after receiving a personal recognizance bond on the gun charge, according to the Rock Hill Law Center. And, quote, remember, Darian Kendrick was the guy that left the football program, left Clemson, named a couple of weeks ago, did not specify his reason why, although it was assumed, as he was a young man that had multiple disciplinary issues while on the Clemson football program, assumed it was a difference of opinions, if you will, between he and Dabo Swinney. Not a lot of input there for you. Just wanted to let you know the news. To the basketball world we go. Georgia Tech star Moses Wright, the ACC Player of the Year, will miss the Yellow Jackets' first-round game against Loyola Chicago on over the weekend. Wright will likely also be out if Tech beats Loyola Chicago and advances to face the winner of Illinois and Drexel. The 6'9" big man is a senior, was playing as well as anyone in the country over the last few weeks. 26 points and 10 boards against Va Tech, 31 and 16 against Syracuse, 29, 14, and 5 in a win over Duke. He averaged 17.4, 8 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and a block 0.6 per game. Josh Pastner will likely have to play a smaller lineup for longer stretches against Cameron Krutwig and Loyola Chicago. Georgia Tech rarely took Wright off the floor for more than a few minutes per game. 6'10" sophomore Rodney Howard will likely see an expanded role. He played double-figure minutes just 5 times this season, but did see 18 in the ACC tournament win over Miami after the Canes knocked off the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech to get there. Knocked off Clemson to get up against the Ramblin' Wreck. The Jackets are winners of the ACC tournament. They won 8 straight games entering the tournament. And Drew, I don't know what else to say about this other than it sucks.
Does it change your pick?
I kind of want to say yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Georgia Tech was like a 1.5 point favorite in this game, and they just lost a 17 point per game player. Right? I don't know how it doesn't. It changes my pick. Loyola Chicago's the pick now. Alvarado's played exceptionally well, and I'd like to think he can pick up a little bit of pace, but you got to make up 17 points somewhere. In a 1.5 favorite game, you got to pick up 17 points, and Georgia Tech doesn't have 17 additional points worth of scoring coming off the bench. The guy that's going to have to come in and carry the minutes now, you're looking at a sophomore in Rodney Howard. Guy's going to have to come in. He's barely played double digits this year. He's got to come in and combine with Alvarado to make up 17 points. And not just the points, right? 17 points, 8 boards, 2.3 assists, and a block and a half per game. Good freaking luck, man. I don't know how you pull that off, Drew. I don't know. I hate to say it, but yeah, I think Loyola Chicago's the favorite to win this game now.
You've had all of this last part of the season to talk about next year. And that's what's going to be is just talking about how somebody needs to step up, and this is our team next year. So that's what we're playing for is how we're going to look, and somebody's got to step up. I'm going to keep Georgia Tech on my bracket. I think, it's a lock for me. I'm just going to go with it, come what may. We knew that this season was going to have some weird changes like that.
Sure.
And teams are just going to have to roll with it and step up. Loyola Chicago, they know the game plan is going to go just down inside and try to pound it away.
Yeah, it is. And why wouldn't it be? The best defender the Ramblin' Wreck's got's on the bench. Or actually, no, he's not. He's in quarantine. It's the COVID-19 protocol thing, which means that Georgia Tech would have to make it to the third round and get the second day of option in order for him to come back if he tests clean for that length of time, which, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I really
they don't make it past Illinois.
I don't know, man. Yeah, and that's the thing. If they had this kid, they would still be, I'd say, I don't know, what's fair, 7.5, 8-point dog to Illinois. And now they don't have their only good big man.
Yeah, that's being modest. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it. I really don't see it. I'm sorry to say, I just don't see it. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump out to a break. When we come back here in just a minute, Savannah Lee of the Brunswick News is going to join us here on The Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. We'll talk a little bit about the TPC from last year. We will talk about last weekend, excuse me. We'll talk about the Honda Classic going on right this second as well. So a little PGA golf coming up. Then we'll continue the saga of legendary movie star DJ Drew after that. And then Twitter trending topics to wrap up the day. I'm Rob Brown. He is Drew. This is the Rob Brown Show. This is ESPN Upstate.
Sorry, QC Kinetics just said, okay, good.
You're listening to the Rob Brown Show. Listen on your phone everywhere on the radio.com app. Download the app and make ESPN Upstate a favorite for 24/7 real, unfiltered sports talk.
Knee pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain, wrist pain, ankle pain, lower back pain, hip pain, arthritis, carpal tunnel, finger, toe pain, foot, hand pain, nerve pain, plantar fasciitis, tendonitis, sciatica, tendon, ligament, muscle pain. Yeah, you heard all those things I just mentioned? You heard how long it took me to mention them all, despite the fact that I was talking really fast? That's because those are all problems that people are going to suffer as they age. It's just a reality. It's also a reality that a lot of folks who go to the doctor and say, hey, doc, my blank is acting up right now. When they do that, they're going to get told, welp, time for surgery. We're going to have to slice and dice you, put you under, cut you open, put some robo parts in there, and get you back to your life. Well, QC Kinetics is here to tell you it's not your only option. It's not your only option. They offer non-surgical regenerative therapies. They know how your body ticks, the biological processes that go into helping you feel better, allowing your body to heal itself naturally, and they act as a catalyst. They make that happen faster. They make it happen more efficiently. They get you back to feeling better, healthier, and getting back to your day-to-day life when your hips hurt because of the golf game you played, when your lower back hurts and you can't pick up your grandkids anymore. That's what QC Kinetics does not want you to have to go through. They don't want you to feel like you have to just prepare to suffer every day when you got to do something physical. Quite the opposite. They want you to feel better, faster, sooner, naturally. Go to QCkinetics.com to learn more, QCKINETIX.com, or give them a call right now at 864-448-3772, 864-448-3772. Tell them the Rob Brown Show sent you. Get that free consultation. It's our friends at QC Kinetics. Drew, I'm going to send you Savannah's number here, uno momento. We're going to give her the old ringy ring, ring-a-ding-a-ding-ding.
All right, what was the name on that again?
It is Savannah with an H on the end.
Got it.
Lee, Leigh.
Okay.
Sorry, my mind's going blank, blankety blank.
good to go on that interview.
Outstanding, James. Sean Connery, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
So in other headlines, the Kazumazu is the world's most dangerous cheese, according to Guinness World Records. It is raised by having maggots hatch their way through.
Yes, I know
Did
of
you see
this
that?
cheese. I watch, because I'm a huge dork, I watch a show from Britain called The Big Fat Quiz, right?
Okay.
And so it's a game show, and they pair celebrities and comedians up, and they just it's a trivia game, basically, right? So they have you write down answers. Well, they asked about that cheese one day. They were like, what's the name of the world's most dangerous cheese? Or no, they said that this cheese is considered what by the Guinness Book of World Records or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And nobody got it right. And then they brought out the cheese and they had all the comedians try a piece. And they were like, well, A, it's absolutely disgusting. And they said, B, it just smells like death. And it's one of those foods, Drew, that I'm 99% sure people only eat because other people eat it, right? Like caviar. You will never convince me that anybody actually enjoys caviar. They just eat caviar because rich people eat caviar, and that's what you're supposed to do. That food is considered, what's the word? It's considered notable for the same reason that Kim Kardashian is famous. Why is Kim Kardashian famous, Drew? Because she's famous. That's the reason.
So we eat caviar because we eat caviar. And this cheese, everyone has a price tag. What would be your price tag to barrow down and just a huge spoonful of this cheese?
First off, I love the fact that you just completely Ted DiBiase $1 million man me there. Everybody's got a price.
Yep.
I don't know what you'd have to pay me to eat the cheese. Here's what I do know. I will never pay to eat that cheese. There is no paying. Maybe if I went to a place and it was like this is the food we eat in the culture. Like, I guess I'd try it just to be a well-rounded, cultured individual. But there's not a place where I go and they go, this cheese sells for $100 a pound. Give us $10 and we'll let you. Nope, I don't care that. No. Good food is not made by having maggots eat it first. It's the other way around. Good food is wasted when maggots eat it.
Yep.
It's unbelievable to me that people do that crap.
Yeah. No, I assumed you would not lay down your hard-earned money for something nasty and dangerous. But you would gladly earn money because I know your industry. So, yes, something would entice you to take a...
You know that you're on the radio with me right now, correct?
Yeah, as a sub, you know.
Promo code RISK.
You're
industry, like you're not sitting right here.
Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say play ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is ESPN Upstate. I am Rob Brown, back in the network studio. My man Drew on the ones and twos today. And to the phone lines, we go to welcome in one of my favorite guests, a tremendous PGA Tour insider and a friend of mine off the air as well. Miss Savannah Lee joins us here on the program to talk a little golf. Savannah, did you make it through? Did y'all catch any of this weather that's been pounding the upstate the last couple of hours?
Well, it's coming now. Like, I think we're gonna get just rain and stuff here, but I just got a weather alert on my AccuWeather or whatever that says that they expect winds and rains in the next 2 hours. So it's coming. We need it though. It's been a little warm down here the last few days, and this pollen is absolutely killing me. So I'm welcoming the rain as long as there's no damages or anything serious like that. We will welcome. Rain is a good thing. Hopefully that's no copyright. Sorry.
I think you're okay. I have sang many times on the radio, and the worst I've gotten is threats of bodily violence from listeners. So you're probably fine. Let's start. Let's go back. Take a look at the TPC last weekend. Justin Thomas, 27-year-old, put on an absolute ball-striking clinic which is great because he had really been kind of struggling the last few months coming into this tournament. Shot 64-68 on the weekend, his 14th PGA Tour victory. Had just lost his grandpa not too long ago. In fact, I think the weekend of the Waste Management, he lost his grandfather, who he was very close to. The dude looked like he was on a mission this past Saturday and Sunday.
100%. And I love when Justin Thomas gets in those kind of zones because you can tell he kind of puts himself into a Tiger-esque situation where he has the blinders on and he is there to prove that he can play the game of golf and he can really, show that he's one of the best in the entire world. His ball striking was just absolutely incredible. That to me shows a good golfer because you can hit it long all day long, and I'm not throwing shade at Bryson because there's a bunch of people that hit it long.
Yes, you are, Savannah. Stop lying.
I promise I'm not, because Bryson has tremendously improved on his short game and getting a little bit more, consistent there. I still don't like him, but what Justin Thomas did proves as to what Rory has said in the past about the artistry of the game and being able to craft those shots and put those shots into play. And that's what golf is all about. You may not hit it down the middle of the fairway every single time, but it's how you get up and down onto the green that matters. And Justin Thomas put on a clinic. I think he was playing for his grandfather and for his dad. And I think he had a point to prove that, this was something that he wanted to achieve and he did it. And I love the emotions in the post round and him saying afterwards, he's like, why'd you do that to me, man? And it's just like, because we love when golfers show how much do they care about the game. And it was just really awesome for him to have that moment with his dad and have that moment of him being able to kind of honor his grandfather and all that. And so he absolutely 100% put that clinic on. I couldn't stop watching it. I work on Sundays putting the paper and stuff together, and it took me until like 5:30, the last 25 minutes of the round for me to get up and leave to go to the office. And so it was fun. It was so much interesting to watch, and I'm just extremely happy for the guy. And I don't like Alabama that much, but he is one Alabama guy that I will root for no matter what.
Through 8 holes on Sunday, JT was 1 over for the round, despite hitting every fairway and green in regulation. And look, the putts started falling. And it's kind of one of those things where we've talked about the importance on tour of being able to knock down your putts. I mean, guys with low putting efficiency are at the bottom of the FedEx ratings. That's just kind of how it works out. But if your putter is not falling for you, then being 100% on the fairways and on the greens in regulation becomes infinitely important. He made up for some struggles with the putter early by just making sure the ball was in the right place every time he hit it. That is as good of a round of a golf as you. If he's able to come in to the Honda Classic and some of the other big tournaments we've got lined up leading up to the Masters in just a touch over a month at this point. If he gets those putts to start dropping on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, instead of waiting till late Sunday, and he's hitting the ball that well, JT might become one of the most dangerous golfers on the tour.
Yeah, he's not playing this week, I don't think. I think he decided to take the week off.
Oh, okay.
Really quickly. But you are 100% right. He is, in my opinion, that eagle on 11 completely turned around his entire, it became a reality that he could get it done. And he proved to himself that even if he was struggling through the first 2 days, making the cut and being able to get to the weekend, that he can put on a show and do something. If he continues this rate, like, he very well could go into the Masters being the favorite to win it. And it would not surprise me if he went on to earn a green jacket. I know the Masters is a whole entirely different animal, but if he continues this, I foresee a few more wins this season and him continuing this dominance that he's portraying. I think the last few months of him overcoming the grandfather's death, overcoming the whole, not scandal, but situation earlier this year, it really weighed on him. Losing, the RLX sponsorships and stuff, like, that has to weigh on you mentally. And it goes to show that when you can get into the right mental state, especially as talented as he is, like, nothing can stop him. I'd love to see him go on a a tyrant and just kind of take over golf this season to give us something else to talk about than what we've been talking about the last year or so. And I'm hoping for it because he's one of those guys that are so humble but yet so competitive, and so like he likes to dig at people, but at the same time he keeps it humble. And so like that's what makes golf so much fun to watch, is guys like him who truly love the game, who've grown up loving the game, and then you put all that talent with it. It's just, he's a perfect candidate to just, enjoy the ride and to have this like the long stretch of success.
Savannah Lee from the Brunswick News, PGA Tour Insider here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. One last question about the TPC, then we'll flip over to what we're seeing happen right now in the first round of the Honda Classic. And I'm going to ask about your boy Bryson DeChambeau, who lost the TPC by 2 shots to Justin Thomas. He came out. Now, we saw that he, on that tee shot on the par 4 fourth, look, he can say whatever he wants. He topped the ball, all right? And as an expert in topping the golf ball off the tee box, trust me, I know what he did. He topped the ball. Just an unfortunate shot. But then he had an opportunity with a 4-iron, and he said that his forearm was cracked. He said he looked at the bottom of the thing. It was cracked. It felt weird, etc. Now, it's the club that he's using, the Cobra King Utility, is a hollow construction club designed to provide a face that kind of flexes a little bit. I only know that because I'm a nerd and I looked it up because I was curious as to whether he was using a solid body club or a hollow one. And it's not unusual for these to crack, but these guys usually are using brand new equipment and are set up, etc. every tournament. Do you believe Bryson when he said it's cracked, or do you think he just had a bad hole that cost him the tournament and he can't accept it?
I think he had a bad hole that cost him the tournament and he couldn't accept it. I mean, he went on to bogey 8 and bogey 14, and then in a couple other instances on some of these pars that he made, he wasn't putting as well. I don't necessarily think that one hole can really define an entire round, but I think he got so into his head, and you could see it. Like anytime he missed a putt, he was just almost slammed the club into the green, or you could tell that hole really screwed with his mindset. And I think that's kind of where we need to calculate, or not calculate, but like deter where he is in his game, because as soon as he screwed up, he got into his head, and it was the first time we've seen him kind of slip up and not keep composed. That's the right word for me. Keep his composure, because at Bay Hill, even when he missed a shot or something, he kept his composure and really, hung in tough and was on a mission. As soon as he topped that ball, you almost saw like the color out of his face drain, and he was just like, "Oh my God, what the heck?" And that club very well have been cracked or whatever, but that doesn't mean you still shot 2 more bogeys and you missed putts moving on to the round. So if you really define that that's why you lost the tournament, that to me is just saying that golf is not one hole. It's 4 rounds. It's really hard for me to accept that he thinks that that's why he lost the golf tournament. And if it is, so be it. But in my opinion, I think he got into his head. He blew up a little bit in his mind. His mind got blown because he topped it. He's like, "I've never done that before." Well, I'm sure you have when you were a kid. You just don't remember. And so it's just like, you got to keep your composure, dude. And you lost your composure, which is why I think he began to miss putts, especially, the ones that kind of came up short and stuff. But it wouldn't surprise me to see him kind of come back a little bit stronger when he does play next, because he's got a point to prove. He's gotten all the spotlight. He won the Arnie tournament and everything, so he knows that he can win now. It's going to be a matter of if he can keep his mental game in check, in my opinion.
All right, couple of golfers to ask about at the Honda Classic before we get out of here. And the first one is a guy whose name has been a mainstay, and then he just kind of fell off, and that's Ricky Fowler. Unless he can get in via the Texas Open, which is the week before the Masters, difficult to put yourself into that mindset and then immediately ready. This is Ricky's last chance to not miss his first major since back in 2010. I think he missed the U.S. Open, and that was it. What is going on with this cat? We've been talking about Rory and Lee Westwood and some of these other guys. Westwood's picked his game up. Rory looked bad last weekend, let's be honest. But Ricky Fowler, where is Ricky gone? Why are we not hearing his name? What's happening?
I think he's been messing with his swing. He's been, switching out the putters and stuff. And I'm hoping, and I think I'm right, he went back to his original putter. So in my opinion, that's going to help him because, switching putters and stuff can really mess with a golfer's mindset, especially on greens. But he's working with his swing, and he's kind of just working through some struggles, I think, in my opinion. It's kind of hard to see because you see him play well, and then he plays really bad, and so there may be some other things off the course that are bothering him, or maybe he is doing too many commercials. I hate to be that person that praises Nick for saying it, but because Nick does all the commercials himself, but Nick did the commercials after he won all these tournaments and majors and stuff like that. So, and to comment on that situation, I don't think Nick was being rude. I think if anybody can take that kind of criticism and critique, it's Ricky Fowler. And Ricky knows that he does a ton of endorsements and deals and stuff. He's making money that way too. So I think Ricky's just kind of have to figure his swing out and get back to what he was doing when he won the Players Championship. And I think a lot of guys are tweaking their swings and trying to, do a lot of different things in terms of speed, getting a lot more distance and stuff. And as much as I have talked about Bryson not really changing the game, I think he is, because you see Rory, you see Ricky, you see these different guys that are doing different things with their swings to get more distance, to do whatever. And so I think that's where Ricky's got to get back to himself. Ricky's got to get back to playing golf and enjoying playing golf. You don't see him cracking at smiles nearly as much, or, cracking as many jokes, because he is struggling. So I think he needs to get back to having fun. I'm not too technical on the whole swing thing. That would have to be somebody else. But I think it's just him trying to figure out something, and now he's frustrated and he's not having as much fun as he was when he was playing well. So maybe get back to the basics, Ricky. But that's coming from somebody who tops the golf ball quite often and is learning herself. So.
Yeah, also an expert at that. All right, last thing, I'm going to let you address a listener who texted into the show yesterday, Savannah, and said, quote, "Hey, Rob, next time you have Savannah on your show, bust her chops for me. I took her picks on FanDuel, Rory, Hovland, and Scheffler, and all three missed the cut. Ray and Greer says, give her a good-natured jab from me," end quote. So I'll let you address Ray and Greer all yourself, Savannah Lee.
Well, Jordan did make the cut. So I will say that Jordan did make the cut. He was the last one I had any hopes for, but he fell apart on the weekend. Victor's whole situation, I think the ruling got in his way. This is also why I don't do FanDuel and bet, because golf is literally one of the hardest sports to predict, because any given guy on that field could have a heyday and go off and go super low and win the tournament. And so, it's hard to, you can track their consistencies, like with Lee Westwood. Who would have thought Lee Westwood would have continued the success that he did? And, I hope Lee continues his next tournament, because he's so much fun to watch. And it's so cool to see how nonchalant he is on the golf course and how he's just strolling and having a good time. But, I will say my whole Tony Finau not making, missing the cut was my highlight, because there were so many people picking him to win, so many people picking him to contend. And I was quite proud of myself to realize that he doesn't, that golf course really can chew players up. And I think that's what it did with Finau. I think that's what it did with Hovland on day 2, because it only took 2 or 3 holes for him to, have a lapse or whatever, and he just kind of not fell apart, but just didn't play his best golf. And I honestly think that ruling got into his head more so than anything. I mean, it's kind of tough when your mom's like, "Hey, dude, you screwed up," and then nobody else called it. So I also have to, be like, "Hey, caddy, you got to make sure your guy's in the right place at the right time." And even if he's a professional golfer and he knows the rules and stuff. But this is why I don't pick, Rob. This is, there's some weeks where I'm all on top of it and stuff, and then there's other weeks. But I feel like the Players is one of the hardest to pick, because that golf course is so risk reward, and it's just all about whether or not you can keep it in play, keep it out of the water, and take advantages of the take advantages of the shots that you get, and finding ways to not implode whenever you hit a bad one. And I think that's exactly what Justin did. And he persevered through the entire weekend. Lee, struggled on that last day, but he held tough. And that putt for $500,000 on the 18th to take solo second was absolutely massive. I wish I would have got on the Lee train because it was so much fun to watch. And I will say, like, Thursday was a bloodbath with all the golf balls in the water. Friday got a little bit better, and then Saturday and Sunday it was so competitive and so much fun to watch. And that's what I, as a golf fan, enjoy about the Players Week, is because you never know what's going to happen. And I got to shout out the superintendent, because he only moved the Island Greens whole location on Thursday and Friday like by only a few feet. And he was just like, I'd like to see how many guys are going to try to continue to fly this ball. So I got to give a shout out to him, because he had to have been enjoying Thursday and Friday.
I know we all did. Savannah Lee, you can follow her on Twitter at SportsGirlSL. SportsGirlSL. Savannah, fantastic job as always. We'll get with you next week as we inch ever closer to the Masters.
Awesome. Can I just say one more thing, Rob? I just want to humbly brag on myself and humbly brag to you, because I've been taking golf lessons consistently since January. And before that, I had played and stuff, but never really kept score, because I'm a kind of competitive person that doesn't keep score until I fully understand the game. Well, we went out to Sanctuary Cove out here in a little outside of Brunswick towards Camden County, and we played the front nine, and I shot a 60 from my first ever tee to green round of golf. So I am so proud of myself. I don't care. I'm going to brag on my 60 and enjoy it until I play again.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely should. Next time I make it through Georgia, I will let you thoroughly kick my behind as well. Savannah, we'll talk to you next week, girl. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rob.
There you go. Savannah Lee at SportsGirlSL on Twitter. Quick break. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is ESPN Upstate.
Opinions wanted.
Well, opinions are like, we'll say, everybody has one.
Call 844-GSP-ESPN. Local sports talk on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
I know you told me like 3 times. What's the description of her again?
PGA Tour Insider.
Got it.
Will suffice. Dude, guys, miss it. Oh, Ricky, make the putt, Ricky Fowler. I was just talking about you, Ricky Fowler. Make the putt. 6 feet, man.
Harley Davidson for next break, which is going to be coming up quick, I guess.
Yes, quick segment here.
And of course, I have to jump out real quick so Diesel can take over. But best of luck with watching all those videos.
Say, if you want to, it's the only computer you have in the office, isn't it?
I'll jump on my other computer to edit, but honestly, I'm probably just going to head out.
Yeah,
take a
man.
nap.
That whole work thing gets in the way of a good social life, doesn't it?
Isn't that crazy?
Hate how that works.
Damn it. Great job with the interviews today. I love how much prep you do for all of them.
Thanks, man. If I'm going to do it, it might as well be worth the listener's time.
Who was your favorite sports interview person to grow up listening to?
That did the best interviews?
Yeah.
I mean, Al Michaels has always done good interviews. But I think, I mean, the closer you are with the person, the better the interview is going to be, you know? It's always when I get, the only, I don't really get nervous when we get big names on the show. I don't really get nervous except for, I always know I did plenty of prep to carry a good interview. The question is always like, I don't know what their personality's like in real life. And so you never know how they're going to react, right? Because you know me, man. The whole 3 days we've worked together. Dude, I'm super loosey-goosey and go with the flow. I don't take anything seriously, which is my biggest problem in life. So for me, like, I like to joke around and laugh and have fun. And I've had interviews before. I'm trying to think of one. Oh, I interviewed Bernard Hopkins years ago, boxing Hall of Famer. And Bernard is very like, there's not a funny bone in his body, right? You'd be like, Bernard, man. Yeah, man, I remember that fight. It was good. You know, I hit him a couple times. He hit me a couple times. I went down. He went down. And you're trying to make it fun as opposed to just like two robots talking. That's why, like, when I find somebody I really like to interview that knows their stuff, I'll have them on. Like, Savannah's good. Brandon Walker, my buddy, I have him on to talk wrestling every now and then. He's phenomenal. He works for Barstool. Jay Busby of Yahoo Sports. I've been interviewing Jay for, probably 14 years now. I interviewed him when he was working for a tiny little newspaper in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, and now he is one of the premier front page writers for Yahoo Sports. Nice. Phenomenal guy to interview.
Wow, that's fun.
All right, in and out real quick here. Harley Reid, Twitter trending topics to end the week.
You're listening to The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate. Rob, Drew, you. All right, this is it for me. I'm out tomorrow. Lonzo and I will both be back on Monday. Drew, first and foremost, man, fantastic job this week. Thanks for picking up the slack. You did an awesome job, and we'll continue to have you on the show, man. Play more beer cans and ball clubs, get some more stories out of you. It's good stuff. I appreciate your hard work, bud.
Hey, it's kind of like an audition here, see if I can come back. So I had a lot of fun.
You cut the mayo, buddy. That's awesome. The mayo. That's all you're going for. All right. If you want to see it, my bracket is up on Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. You can go see my Final Four, who I've got picked for upsets in the first round. I will be on Twitter all weekend during the tournament. So twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, at The Rob Brown Show on Twitter. Toss me a follow. Talk some basketball with me there. And we'll have some fun with that on the broadcast, on the interwebs. And then, I'll probably check in on Sunday, do a little live stream after the first round to make some second round bracket predictions. So make sure you keep an eye. Join our Facebook page, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. You turn on the alerts. It'll alert you every time I go live on Yard Stream so you can follow us through the basketball weekend. Quick break. We'll come back. We end it by talking about what you're talking about. It's everybody's favorite game. Twitter trending topics wraps up the show next on The Rob Brown Show. This is ESPN Upstate.
All right. Harley Davidson.
Text us anytime at 71307. Use keyword ESPN followed by your comment. Local sports talk on The Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
So, couple of things that I want to let you know about. First and foremost, ladies, those of you that ride, those of you that want to ride on the back of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, the Ladies Only Garage Party is happening Tuesday, March 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at Harley-Davidson of Greenville, 30 Chrome Drive. It is a free Ladies Only Garage Party. Join the folks at Harley-Davidson of the Upstate. Come out, meet other lady riders. Doesn't matter if you currently ride or if you want to learn how and are interested. This event is for you. They are going to help you to learn how to pick up your motorcycle should it fall when you're on your own. Teach you how to change the oil in your own bike, swag bags, how to pack for trips, gear demonstrations, door prizes, riding tips and tricks. They will provide appetizers and refreshments. And if you go to their website right now at upstateharley.com, you can register for the ladies only garage party and end up entered for a chance to win a $25 Harley Davidson of Greenville gift card. So not only can you learn to ride, not only can you get the tips and tricks, but somebody's going to walk out of there with $25 in free gear as well. Go to their website right now at upstateharley.com to learn more. It's upstateharley.com. Then on Saturday, April 17th, Harley Davidson of Greenville will be welcoming Blackstone Cherry and special guest Small Town Titans to a concert right there at the store. It's at 30 Chrome Drive, starts at 7 p.m. Food and drinks will be available for purchase. No tickets necessary. It is a free concert with Blackstone Cherry and Small Town Titans. April 17th, that's a Saturday, starts at 7 p.m., 30 Chrome Drive. Make sure you check that out on the calendar. And, of course, go by and get yourself a brand new 2021 Harley, man. They're beautiful. It's only at Harley Davidson of Greenville, upstateharley.com, Harley Davidson of Greenville.
Man, it was like Noah's flood, and all of a sudden, sun.
Yeah, it's
there's a
beautiful
rainbow.
outside now, isn't it?
It's incredible. If I didn't have a window in here, I would have just walked out and been like, must have been nice this whole time.
Yeah, I was looked at a minute ago. My brother took my car to go up to the grocery store to get some stuff while he's here for the weekend, and he left. And I looked outside, and it's like a wall of water. It didn't look like rain. It just looked like there was just like it was aquarium with so much water.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I looked out, I looked at the TV. I watched 2 or 3 holes of golf. I turned around, blue skies, cloud. You wouldn't know if I'd have told you it rained 5 minutes ago. You'd have called me a liar.
You're right. This happened twice. I parked at a faraway parking spot at a Walmart and some other store. I run to my car, and literally, as I'm shutting the door, it stops. It just completely stops.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad.
Freaking nuts.
If I had just waited, I wouldn't be sopping wet. So I get to my destination 2 minutes away. I'm like I just got out of the shower in full clothes, and everyone else is like, "What happened?" I mean, it looks like full sunshine out there, you know.
Hookset and Rio, appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to take a look at your video after the show, so make sure you come back tomorrow and check out the end of it. Texter says, I have never heard bloodbath and golf in the same sentence. We haven't been listening to the show long enough.
It's regular golf terminology right there.
I frequently put together combinations of words that have not, and frankly should not, be used together. Oh my God, shut up! It was so nice. The rain sound drowned out the stupid geese. And now they're back.
Seems appropriate.
Jerks.
For the video you're about to show.
Y'all, I'm about to drop some cash on the new Greenville Triumph kit. It is sick nasty.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
Time to see what has been trending in your tweets. Rob, tell me, why would Jared Cook be trending?
Because he just fumbled and cost me a Super Bowl again. That's my only guess. Jared Cook is trending because Jared Cook fumbled the ball 5 minutes ago when the Saints just lost another playoff game. No, he's trending because he signed with the Chargers, 1 year, $6 million. That guy is so immensely talented as a route runner, so intensely talented, except for he has a severe case of fumbleitis. I appreciate everything he did in New Orleans, but as I've said, as I've continued to say and will continue to say, if Jared Cook catches that football against Tom Brady's Bucs in the divisional round game last year, the New Orleans Saints win the Super Bowl this year. I believe that. I think they would have knocked Brady out. I think they could have won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs based on what I saw the Chiefs do against the Bucs. If Jared Cook doesn't fumble that ball starting the second half, New Orleans scores, they go up 3 touchdowns, and that's game over, Drew. I stand by that.
It is breaking news. I thought you might have a whole segment about that if we had another hour, which we do not. So we press on. Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff, this is really interesting. Eric Bischoff is the latest inductee to the WWE Hall of Fame, which is only interesting not because Eric Bischoff doesn't deserve to be there, but because he's currently working for All Elite Wrestling, the direct competition. But here's the deal. No matter where he works, Eric Bischoff basically created the NWO, the angle that started realism in wrestling and changed the business forever. Regardless of where he works at, Eric Bischoff is a legendary wrestling mind and deserves to be there.
Got to get that in lieu of Lonzo's Fight Club segment. Also trending today, Cyborg. Why would Cyborg be trending?
Well, one of two reasons. Either somebody's making a reboot of a reboot of a reboot of a reboot, or number two, it's trending because the Justice League trailer has dropped out, and I suspect that Cyborg is going to be getting some more time, significantly more time, in the Snyder Cut than he did in the theatrical cut, and I'm sure people are talking about it. It's one of those two.
Absolutely. Different characters there being more developed. Cyborg in Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League.
It's a great character.
Leto's
great character.
Performance of Joker also gets some more showtime as well in development. People say it's a way different than what you may be expecting.
Yeah, I think they tried to spin it back towards a more original version of the Joker. Here's the thing. I don't mind different takes on the Joker. I don't mind different inspiration. I mean, Ledger's version of the Joker was great. So was Jack Nicholson's. So was Mark Hamill's in the animated series. I don't mind different spins on the Joker, but like, hey, I'm punk rock with green hair, woot woot, doesn't do it for me. So I don't know. I'm going to give the Snyder Cut a run, and we'll see how it hits.
We'll talk about that next week, or at least you will, I'm guessing. For a variety of reasons, Disney is trending. Want to take a shot at least one or two?
Because Falcon and Winter Soldier start
coming
streaming
out
tomorrow. That's right.
Also announced today, Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson unveiled their post for Loki this summer, the new original series.
I'm pretty excited about that too, to tell you the truth. We get to clean up the story of where he went and where he got away from the Avengers with the Tesseract in Endgame.
Also, California is opening up their theme parks, gyms. Disneyland is opening, but the California Attractions and Parks Association just has one rule. If you go on these rides, no screaming. Just hold your breath. It's going to be a quiet place.
Good luck with that.
The Abbott family goes to Disneyland at John Krasinski film. Yeah.
Good
Everyone's
luck with
quiet.
that. Good luck freaking with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the show. But before we get out of here, let's tell you your keyword for the $1,000 cash dash for this upcoming hour is treasure. TREASURE, treasure. Text treasure to 72881 for your chance to win a grand. Powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. Treasure, TREASURE. Text it to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. That is it for the week. Join me over on the Yard stream at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. I'm going to hang out on the stream for a few more minutes. For Drew, I'm Rob, Mark, Ryan, and Diesel. Up next, this was the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. Later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now go. I have to try this. Now, I'm going to warn you, for those of you hanging out, and I'm going to give a minute or two for a couple more people to join in here. And for those of you that are still hanging out with me in the stream, this is the first time I have gone solo streaming without the benefit of being on the radio as well. So with that being said, would love for you guys to again, as we continue to do this, share this around. Let us know that you're enjoying it, what you like, what you don't, what you want to change, et cetera. Because this is a tool we have that I have very much enjoyed utilizing. I think it's kind of cool how it opens us up to be able to talk and communicate with you guys more often. So anyway, I am going to try something out here that I have not gotten the chance to do before. We got from Hookset and Reel earlier. I'm going to go see if I can pull the video up. But from Hookset and Reel earlier, we got a story. You guys heard the story about the goose that tried to murder me not too long ago, which was infuriating. Anyway, Hookset Reel wrote and said that I am not the only one that has had this issue in the past. He said that he has also been attacked by a goose. So I went and I've pulled up the video on his YouTube channel where he says this happened, and I 100% want to watch it. So I'm going to see if I can make this work. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to make this happen and how to share the screen with you guys. I think that if we'll be able to watch this video together, but I'm also watching, and you keep seeing me look down over here. I'm actually watching my phone to see if I can make this work. Ah, look at that. Would you look at that? How does it look better? Does it look better like that? Yeah, let's go with that. So anyway, this is the video that Hookset and Reel posted. And I want to see if we can get it to play. I'm actually going to take that out and see. I don't know if it's going to have audio or not to it. But anyway, here's that video. So my man's out fishing on a very expensive kayak, and he's somewhere, obviously, on a river. Oh, go! Oh, he's not joking. Look at that. Are you kidding me? I think, all right, so he's playing with his tackle over here in the tackle box. And of course, it looks like it's running a little slower on your screen than mine. But watch this thing come out of nowhere. He says, "Oh, bleep." Look at this thing. Look at that murder bird. Are you kidding me? Just comes right after him like, wow. Does it flip? Did he flip the kayak? He did. The bird made him flip. All right, so it's going to come from over in this area over here. Look at that. It made him flip his kayak. Oh, I ought to beat that bird to death with the paddle. Look, what the hell? This goose is got no chill at all. Are you kidding me? Is that it? Does it come back? Yeah, look at him. He's still right there up in the top right corner. Look at him doing his stupid little neck thing. He's trying to intimidate my guy here with his stupid... There's a person up there. I'd be screaming for help. Look at him. Dipping his head down. Look at this little turd, man. He's cocky. He's like, yeah, I made you flip your boat. What are you going to do? The goose got cocky. Are you kidding me? I was like, there's no way it's going to be all that dramatic. I was like, all this build up for nothing. There's no way it's going to be that dramatic. Oh, it was. Wow. That is unbelievable. I'm going for it one more time. All right, here it comes. Look at it. Are you kidding me? My man, it makes me want to flip his kayak. That's incredible. All right, well, I just wanted to share that with you. That's I appreciate you sharing that with us, Hook, Set, and Reel. Thanks for tuning in, man. Everybody else on the stream, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see y'all next time. I'm off tomorrow. I will do some live streaming probably on Sunday to kind of catch up with where we are in rounds 1 and preview round 2 of the tournament. So I'll catch you then, and then back on Monday with Lonzo for the Rob Brown Show, noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Upstate. Have a great